Good evening, everyone. I call the Town of Saratoga open meeting in session. Please stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Look at there, we got 2 things out of the way already. Moving right along. Garbage and recycling review.
Waste management is here, Tim.
Tim.
They give us, I handed them all out to everyone in fires.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Tim Miller. I'm the public sector rep for Waste Management. I cover the southwest portion of the state from Eau Claire, Rapids, Madison, down to Prairie du Chien. Fortunately, I'm based in La Crosse, which is pretty centralized for all those. And with that being said, thank you for having me first on the agenda. I appreciate that. We've had a great working relationship with the town of Saratoga for many years, minimal service concerns. But the solid waste and recycling has evolved over the years. I can remember when I was little, there was one can that we put out and everything went in it. And now it's gotten to the point where we're trying to divert things from the landfills and doing more recycling. So the trucks that we have right now are what's called a split body rear load. So the truck's going down and the guys are getting out of the truck every time, grabbing the carts, dumping them in, picking up any bags, putting those in there as well. When it gets full, then they've got to compact it. But same truck that I did my first route ride when I started with the company. And the first thing that hit me was, there's other technology out there. Why are we getting in and out of the truck over 100 times a day, opening yourselves up to any number of things, slip strips, falls, vehicles going by. It's a larger vehicle than people are used to driving around as it is. And there is a better way to do it. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about tonight, is the carded service is what most municipalities are going to. And by that, what I mean is we would be deploying carts for every resident, a trash cart and a recycling cart. These are 96-gallon carts. They're very easy to use. I have the opposite ends of the spectrum in my neighborhood. I've got a gentleman that's upper 80s that can wheel his out just fine. And I got a neighbor to the other side with children and eight-year-olds can wheel them out to the curb and back. We are our local site, because we have a couple thousand residents that are going to be leaning towards this program. So we've got about several thousand gently used, not brand new, but they're cleaned up. They're WM owned and maintained. We'll do any repairs, replacements. Occasionally a wheel break, occasionally a little break. Winter's probably the most often when carts will have an issue. Personally, my cart I've had for 16 years, and they're the same ones. But not everybody treats them the same way. And if one breaks, we'll put a ticket in, we'll get it taken care of, get it swapped out. Like I said, the wheels are pretty large so that they're sturdy. They do have lids to keep trash down from blowing around. Very easy to use, and it's a high-grade plastic. The benefits to the residents is exactly that ease of use, weather sturdy, and keeping things from blowing around. For the town, it's kind of a curb appeal on garbage day, on recycling day. It looks uniform down the streets. It's better curb appeal. It is going to keep our drivers safe from strains and sprains and things like that. One of the things that came up was, and I don't think it's that prevalent, but if someone is on medication or insulin or needles being an issue, being contained in a solid cart like that is much safer. Just eliminates one opportunity for someone to get hurt. So you may have some questions about the cart deployment. How are we going to service them? Like I said, we're currently doing a rear load truck. We'll be looking at doing the automatic side load trucks, and there's two of the handouts that I put out have a picture of that truck. It ate up all of my ink when I did that, but I do have, two of you are lucky enough to have a sheet with a picture of that automatic side load truck. When it pulls up to the curb, the arm will reach out and grab the cart, dump it into the truck, and then compact it. So it does keep waste down, or litter down, I should say, from going around.
Does the same truck still pick up both garbage and recycling?
It'll be one single commodity, there'll be one for recycling, one for trash, and they'll be able to pick up more. So we're covering a larger area with one vehicle for that one commodity. That's an excellent question. The automatic side load trucks have been a long time in making. We've had some supply chain issues that we've since overcome, and they're slated for the beginning of the year. And it's an effort to make sure, we're upgrading our fleet to make sure that what the residents have matches up to that equipment. So that arm can grab those carts. They're not very, the arm is not very friendly to customer-owned cans. They're too small, varying sizes, and it can't pick up the bag. So our goal would be to have carts and educational materials out before the end of the year. Behind the cart placement would be one of the educational pieces that we would be sending out. And behind that is an informative letter. It's kind of going into detail about the service. And I will say this, the municipalities that are in your similar situation of customer supplied cans, when they've gone to the carted service, you'd never be able to take the carts away from them. They're so much nicer. The town of Dearne went to it. The town of Houston over in Minnesota, in my backyard, where they've gone to it, and it's been successful. So we'd like to get the carts out before the end of the year so residents can get used to them before the trucks are in service, because that rear load truck that we're moving away from does have an arm that can, a hook, if it's the right one. It has a hook that can pick it up and dump it in. But the goal is to move away from those rear load trucks to that automatic side load to avoid any potential injury. But that is a lot of information in a quick period of time. Do you have any questions for me?
I do, actually. If there is something wrong with the can, what is the process to getting that done? What's the process to getting that fixed? Do they have to request that, or do your drivers automatically look, there's a broken wheel, they pay themselves?
It's kind of a two-part. If he does notice it, he will. But more often, it's the customer that realizes when the resident that takes it up to his house. It's one phone call, or there is on mywm.com, if someone is more tech savvy than others. I did it this morning with our customer experience rep. You can go online, put in your address, put in what you're talking about, if it's recycling or trash, and click the box for cart replacement. That generates a ticket in our system for them to replace it.
Okay.
How many times do you replace that cart without charging the customer? I mean, some people might be harder on them than others.
If it's not, I'll say this, if it's, the only one that I've seen replaced in the last 2 years was a 4th of July incident where it melted. Other than that, snowplow hits it, if it just wear and tear, bouncing off the curb and it broke, we replace it and there's no charge.
And so you're gonna start this January 1st for the whole community, if we would,
Yes,
okay. And I see that, so my recyclables are picked up every week now, so I see it would be every other week.
yes, and
And
go ahead.
the
Sorry.
container with the yellow lid is the recyclable one, and they're intermingled, so you can put the paper, the cardboard, and the glass, and the plastic all in that one.
Yes,
And then you sort it.
correct.
Okay.
Lorelei?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the cost going to be? Is our taxes going to go up?
We haven't got that far yet.
Okay.
We're gonna both keep listening because I want to hear that too.
Could you state your name and address too? Just
Pardon me?
What's your name?
Name and address, just so.
Oh, Mary Wright, on 7010 Evergreen.
Thank you. Any other questions for board members?
Is there the ability for a resident to get a second garbage can or
Yes.
second recycle?
Yes,
Cost per resident or
no
what's the
addition.
additional cost?
96 gallon is pretty large, and we've seen at my house it'll hold 7 to 8 like large kitchen bags, and it's everybody's different. My neighbor fills his garbage to the top, and our garbage I may have 1 bag, 2 bags.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to wheel that out, but my recycling in a 2-week period is full. But everybody's gonna be different, it'll be a kind of a feeling out period as we get into it.
Now, I believe I also heard that currently we have large garbage pickup, which is available. Will
Yes,
that still be available as a service at all to our residents?
what most communities are doing now that we would like to propose is a spring and fall cleanup. Because those, unless things have changed, having one biannual event, spring, fall cleanup, we would bring out 30-yard dumpsters and they can bring whatever they need.
Okay, so the at-house pickup would go away.
Right.
For large items, so couches,
Okay.
mattresses.
They don't even have the ability to call in and pay to have somebody come and pick it
I'll
up?
confirm that, but having the biannual event has been the way most municipalities are going.
But our population is getting older and a lot of single people out there maybe don't have trailers or the strength to be, picking these things up and bringing them down. I mean, I'm thinking if they had the ability to bring them to here, they would have taken them to where
That's fair. That's a fair question.
So, yeah.
Let me confirm that. That is the direction that they'd like to go, but I think it's going to be situations exactly like you described,
Okay.
where someone doesn't have the ability to do it.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions? Bruce, go ahead.
Thank you. Bruce Dimick, 5821 Church. Just to follow up on that issue that just been talked about, we've used that service with your company probably 3 or 4 times over 20 years. But it's very appreciative. I think the last time we used it, somebody dropped a mattress off our driveway. I didn't want to wait till, I don't want to wait 3 months to get rid of that mattress.
Right.
I really would hope that you would retain what you're currently doing.
I think that would definitely fall under a special circumstance for sure.
I have a question. I do have a question. for
Please.
Dimick, same address, 5821 Church. At present, we usually take ours out of the car because we have a long driveway. And how tall are,
Not on the top of my head, 40, 46 inches tall, 26 inches wide, and 34 inches deep.
it's just, it's a long way to go.
I'll
I
tell
think
you,
other people have the same.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my son lives in Eau Claire and he has this service. And he lives on a hill, I mean, like a big hill. I can't get up with it. My truck in the wintertime, I can't get up to get to his house. And he actually grabs hold of the handle. Well, you gotta plug your ears because I'm sure this is
You
right.
go right ahead.
But he grabs hold of the handle outside his truck window and pulls them up. So, but they are big. I mean, I've walked them up, so they are quite a height.
And if the wheel breaks, we'll replace it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you're stuck in the hallway.
Yeah.
And I've seen people get very inventive in communities where they'll attach the hitch on a pickup, or
Right.
even, I've seen it tied to the trunk where it's still rolling and they let it off.
Or a bicycle.
Right.
I've seen that too, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And, well, there was a question over here. I missed it.
Is that you, Doug?
So these dumpsters, spring and fall cleanup, they would be parked at the town hall.
At a location that would be most best
By the
suited.
transfer station.
Yeah, it was by the trend.
So I guess the question is, if they're from Saratoga and they have a couch on the truck, can they just take it right over to the landfill?
You can, yes.
And then it goes through the town of Saratoga?
Or then they have to pay for it.
If you took it there directly, it would be paid.
Why would that be?
I don't know if there's
I know it's.
there's a way for them to determine who,
Well, they've got a driver's license.
If they had a driver's license.
yeah.
I just think it'd be smart.
I follow what you're saying.
Somebody throws it on the trailer. Why
Yeah.
would they didn't get rid of it?
I just paid $35 to get rid of a couch and a
That's why
chair.
I'm asking.
Okay, no,
Just saying.
and that's why I like coming to these, is getting feedback from everyone, and because there's so many different scenarios that could.
Otherwise, it's gonna end up in the field. He's gonna-
Right, and you don't want that, because then it's on someone else to pick it up, for sure.
So do you have numbers for us to look at as far as what it will do compared to previous years?
Yeah, I do know that the previous schedule. Nothing happened with inflation. Pointing the cards, using the new trucks, everything taken into consideration. It's currently $11.85 a month, $11.85 a month, and it would be $13.85 a month. That's a $2 difference.
No, that's with, you do have a fuel surcharge attached on.
There's a $4 fuel table.
So does that change monthly?
That if it's,
Or
if
is that the
diesel,
beginning of the year if it's that, or how is that determined?
the Department of Energy looks at the average cost of fuel for the Midwest region on the first Monday of, what the average is, but they'll take it from that first Monday. Whatever it is, that first Monday of the month is what sets it for that.
So every month that's going to change. So we can't tell our residents what our garbage pickup is going to be for that year.
If it's below $4, it's zero. Right.
But, and we can't tell them for sure.
For-
what it's going to be.
Right.
Okay. Was that in there at the last contract?
Yes, but it was not a uniform fuel table. It was it was an odd one that started at $3 and some cents and was raised, wait, 20, it was really weird. It was very convoluted, I would say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
All right.
mentioned it would be
Question.
$13.85 per resident.
Right.
So roughly $7.65 increase on your property tax bill, if that, from what it is to what it would be.
Well, what was that the last year or last?
Currently $11.85, it would be $13.
Okay, so it'd be $2 a month, so
$2.
$24 a year.
So
Well,
you're,
it's actually a little bit more than $11.85.
you're currently paying $158.55 That's what you're all paying on your tax bill for garbage.
Right?
With the new one, with his proposal, it'd be 166.20.
Right, 765 difference.
So we would have to decide, do we want to pay $7.65 additional for this service? Or,
And that's over a year.
yeah, that's over a year. That's not per month, that's 1 year. The other proposal that we received was substantially higher. And just going over this, I don't see anything different except that we got element too.
Yeah, fuel surcharge.
So I think that one's off the table.
Yeah.
So, can you give us just a minute?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I have a question.
Yes.
So we don't have, curb and gutter in Saratoga. So how picky is the truck on picking up cans? Like, does it have to be centered in the driveway, or is there a allow for a tilt, like somebody with a shallow ditch, can they put it next to their driveway, or how picky
Yeah,
is
it
it?
can be next, it can be next to the driveway, yeah. You just have to, that's why I sent that picture, as long as you understand, they understand the truck's gonna pull up and you grab it, if it's in that general area, he'll be able to get it.
Just as long as it's not down in the ditch?
That's a great question.
Yeah, just how picky the truck was for the cans.
Please.
So then, as far as implementation into this, when would you guys start delivering trash cans?
If, what I would like to do is get the carts out, early December, so people can start to get used to it before it's, yeah, before the automatic side load truck is implemented.
Okay, and then, so then that would be the first of the year, kind of full
Yeah,
implementation.
Correct.
Okay,
So, I'm just verifying how many residents are actually utilizing this service. Because I don't have that information here. I sent the treasurer over to take a look. So you want us to sign a 5-year contract, and am I reading this correctly, that it would go up 5% every year? Or at the end of the contract, it will go up 5%?
No, it is a 5%.
Yearly increase?
It is water, sewer, trash, CPI, or 5%, yes.
explain what the CPI is, I guess I'm not familiar with that term.
Yeah, there's a lot of different consumer price indexes, and the Midwest Consumer Price Index, just the basic one, was up to 8. I don't think it got to 9, it was as high as 8 last year. Water, sewer, trash has been closer to 5. They have them broken down by industry, by industry.
Okay, so if that is less than 5%, it would go up,
5%.
so it's whichever's more.
We don't have water and sewer.
It's a price index including
Yeah.
those.
It's a price index that,
That's not a service he's talking, that's just it's part of that program. So we're looking at a minimum over the next 5 years of a by the time you figure that compounding, over 25% increase. But we are somewhat locked in here for 5 years at that point, with somewhat controlled.
right, and I have no problem discussing it a year early, if it would benefit the town. Because not having a crystal ball, you don't know where things are gonna be. So if it would benefit you to talk early, I'm open to that.
Is the 5% based on the fuel price, or is that in addition to the fuel price?
The 5% is just the annual change.
Okay.
What's the
change.
fuel price?
Plus the fuel. The fuel is included in the,
That 5% isn't included in that percentage for the fuel surcharge, that'd be on top of anything else,
The
correct?
fuel take a look at where it's at right now, and the fuel surcharge would be on top.
so this 1385 that you're quoting is actually 1785?
How is that?
Because you're adding the $4.
Oh, no, we're not adding
Oh,
$4.
no, that's if fuel
That's what I
prices
mean.
are $4
Okay,
or
okay.
higher.
Okay,
It'll be.
So is there a discount if it goes under that?
It'll be
Yeah.
1%.
Well, you've got 2% here from 4 to 424.
Correct, 2%.
4%, so it looks like 2% every 25 cents, basically.
So it does not go down, it only goes
That's the
up.
problem with it.
Oh, it goes to 0 once it's below 4.
Yeah, but a few years ago, we had a surcharge and they left it on and fuel dropped out of the market and we never got a discount.
But I don't remember seeing it in their contract either, Doug.
Yeah, we've had that. They gave us they put fuel surcharges on a few years ago.
If it goes below $4, the fuel surcharge would be 0.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
So,
If fuel drops to $3.50,
Right, then it's not necessary to be on
yeah,
there.
for you, but for us it is.
It's necessary
well,
for you.
he's saying it had previously, contracts that it had dropped below that, and we never seen
A discount.
a discount or a reimbursement or anything like that.
That's
That's
why I
what
don't
he's
like
saying.
fuel surcharges.
So basically,
I
if it,
can't speak to that. I don't know what happened then.
Okay,
I know.
so I do have a question. So on your table here, for every 25 cents, it goes up 2%. But on the bottom, it says for every 25 cents per gallon, it will 1%.
1%.
That's above that 475 and
Correct.
beyond that chart there.
Oh, I see.
And if you
So
notice from
continue on.
449 to 475, it's only 1% increase
Correct.
too. So it's once you get past the table.
Okay.
If it's at $6, you're going up.
I'd like to talk to Josh here for a second. Josh, what is diesel fuel price per gallon right now?
Oh, it's,
414 at the store,
yeah,
right now, it's 414.
Is that home diesel or is that?
No, that's, on-road diesel is like 415.
So we're above that $4 mark already.
And it's gonna take the national average.
Yeah, you guys use the hedging. I'm sure you're hedging. fuel.
We, no.
Weekly retail on-highway
No, they're-
diesel
they're
prices
filling
for
up right
Midwest
up the
region.
road. They're filling up at, yeah.
So what?
Somebody else asked me that the other day too.
Do you know what the current average price is for diesel?
You know what? I don't. My policies, I don't.
So in essence, if we're not dealing with a fuel surcharge, if we're just going up 5%, this first contract year, it will remain at $13.85. The second year, 2024, would be $14.54, which makes, what's $14.54 times 12? I'm just trying to get it. So it's starting out
At
at,
174.48.
so it goes from 156
411.
currently to 174, 1527. And then in 2025, it would be $183. 2026 would be, so we're already for 5 years.
192.36. And where we are currently sitting, he said it's 411, so we would actually be adding 2%. If those numbers stay steady for,
Midwest retail diesel price today is 419. Last week it was 410.
And it's gonna look at the Department of Energy's report for that first Monday.
So maybe we do have to look.
so 201.96.
So we're starting out this contract in this year at 166. And in 5 years, we'll be looking at 202. So that's an increase of almost, about $43, $44. And that's without the fuel charge.
Good question.
Yes, Douglas,
Does the other contract have a surcharge on it?
that's what I'm
There is
looking
a
at.
surcharge on the other one as
I
well.
want to do your math on that and see where they have a meeting.
Well, that's it's significantly higher. Per month, he's got $18.75 per month for just trash. Oh, that's trash and recycling.
Yeah, this doesn't have,
Actually-
this doesn't increase.
Yes, it does.
What is it?
Trash for trash. Oh, okay, so the same thing, if we compare it, cost for curbside trash service weekly and recycling service every other week, it's $18.75 And then for every 10 cents in fuel increase over the $4, it's a 1% increase.
So
So,
they do have.
so there is a fuel surplus.
More?
What's that?
They're raising it more, 1% for every 10 cents, and we're doing 2% for every 25.
Yeah, so it is more for the fuel surcharge as well.
It is, but they're basing their increase on,
Okay, so theirs is not the 5.
not doing by
Do you know what CPI has gone up, percentage increase, for
garbage.
like the last 5 years each year? Has it been over 5% each
The
year?
regular Midwest.
Yeah,
Yes.
for garbage.
And that's been pretty consistent over the
It was
last,
8 last year. I think it had started to trend down,
yeah.
but
I guess I wouldn't really have a problem except that this fuel surcharge scares me to death. I don't like unknown.
okay.
I like,
No, and I am,
I like black and white, so, and I think our citizens, you know, when they're figuring their monthly bills, I think they like black and white.
saying,
And just so the residents know, you know, you have your yearly charge.
Sorry.
You have your yearly charge and then the fuel surcharges that we paid through that year, that helps to determine what goes on the tax bill, because it's money paid by Saratoga already for services rendered. Just so you know that. So you don't take the amount from just the contract divided by how many people it is, because we had the fuel surcharge, we'll add that up, and then that also gets divided out, so it gets reimbursed throughout the whole town,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, so when they pay on their taxes in December, January, are they paying for that next year or are they paying for the previous year?
They're paying for services rendered.
previous,
Okay, so that will all, so whatever would happen here starting the 1st, that'll actually show up on the next year's taxes. Okay.
What did we figure worst case scenario that increase is over a 5-year period?
Over a 5-year, just for the garbage without the fuel, it's going to be, it'll go from what is presently 158.55 to 202
And that's-
without the fuel.
That's not worst case, that is best case.
Yeah, that's best case.
That's if we go by the, 5% is the minimum. If it's 8% with that, we will go up higher. So,
But maybe Tim, you can get us something better. I,
on that fuel table.
yeah,
yeah, there's a couple. You know,
If you'd like, I can see if they can switch the table to, the other option would be, the next step up would be a $5 table, which offers you some peace of mind of, is fuel gonna get 5? You know what I mean?
nope, explain,
Right now, you're at a $4 table.
Yeah.
Is what we're proposing.
yeah,
it
If I
raises
go,
that bar.
if I go back to them and say,
right,
we want to look at a $5 table, it may go from 13.85 quoted up to, closer to 14, hopefully under 14. If that rate went up, if the fuel table goes to the $5. But you get that peace of mind out of it.
2775.
so we have more households.
That's according to their bill, what I'm looking at here.
We have 2775
Is that households or is that just property owners? Or property bill?
households, that's how many cap.
The only way they get garbage pickup is if there is a dwelling on that property.
You know what we pay for a fuel surcharge right now?
Well, this last bill that we're looking at here, fuel surcharge for recycling was $77.70. And the garbage,
That's for a month, Billy?
that was
77.75 for a month.
$77.70.
Was that recycling?
Yeah, I don't see,
What
it just
was
says
the,
fuel environmental charge $77.70.
For both.
Oh, here we go.
That would be.
Up here is the fuel environmental charge, that's different.
What was the total bill for that month, I guess?
$26,570.07. Actually, they got garbage fuel charges $185.37. How it's,
185.37?
yeah,
Okay.
let's see. Yeah, this one's totally goes through that.
Yeah, it befuddles me that they would give us a chart here that is already, we're already in the red. I mean, that doesn't help.
Yeah,
So it looks to me like we got charged a little over 0.5% fuel surcharge, if that's,
This is a low surcharge. It was much higher.
okay, it was.
Oh, it was substantially higher for a while there.
So we are getting a decrease.
It is coming down. The fuel
So
surcharge.
we're probably at that 11.85 you said. We're getting surcharge, which is why that price.
That's why that,
total's-
right, that's the difference in there.
Okay. How does everybody else feel about making that fuel charge at a $5 starting point and then having the monthly charge a little higher?
I think no matter what we do, they're gonna raise their price at that point if it goes up to a 5. So,
if it goes up to a 5, I'm surprised how, I would throw a dart at 14. I need to
So
have
that's
it plugged
15
in.
cents a month.
I need to have it plugged in, yeah, 15
yeah,
cents a month.
so,
Um,
Yeah. that's a 1% increase. So, I'm gonna say if we,
But then next year, we would probably be under the surcharge. It'd still be,
well, no matter
We
what,
still
we're under the
go on.
surcharge.
no, because right now it's 4.19, so.
Right.
Right now we're in this, only 2%.
Right.
So we would be better off going to a $5 bill.
Well, that's if they're at $14. If they say, okay, well, we're gonna add on 4% for that because you're getting it up to 5, then may not be better. I mean, bottom line, surcharges became a big thing in every industry.
He said we won't, Chase.
Yeah,
They won't?
I'll
Okay,
Give us some better numbers.
turn the, but the 13.85 with a $4 cable, if you went to a $5 cable, it'd be closer to 14.
I think I'd rather have that guarantee, and I think the citizens would rather have that guarantee.
I would agree, when you were talking, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that question mark of, nobody has a crystal ball, but if diesel
Right.
goes up, I want some protection if I'm sitting in your chair,
Right.
if I'm sitting in my chair.
We can budget. Go
Right.
ahead.
I have one quick question, it's probably stupid, but you're gonna be, if this goes through, you'll be delivering those great big things to us in December. Do we put our garbage in December and bring it out, and then the poor guy has to lift that thing up into the truck? Reach inside, or what?
I'll make sure that they have a truck that will be able to pick that thing up and he will not have to.
Okay.
My assumption is if they bring them out, they can pick
You
them up.
better pick.
Correct, absolutely. Yes.
All right.
Madam Chair, I have,
Yes, Bruce?
another question. When is your company contemplating transitioning to electric trucks, getting rid of these?
Our Madison site has converted to compressed natural gas. And there's talk of going to electric, when you kind of weigh your options on both of those. But compressed natural gas is, for us, probably one of the better options because we own our own landfills. And managing those landfills, when they're we can capture the methane from those, which is the primary ingredient in compressed natural gas. And it's more fuel efficient. But when that timetable is, I do not know. But the electric vehicle comes up at every one of our town hall meetings that we have internally. And compressed natural gas are alongside.
You're just getting the new trucks, Bruce. Don't push them. All right, Tim. Any other questions?
well,
I have one. So if in the winters, the snow knocks over the garbage cans, whose responsibility is to pick them up? Is that the resident or will your guys pick those up and dump it in the truck?
Everybody hear that?
More often than not, and I'll confirm it with the site, but more often than not, when that thing tips over, you're all that work already is gone. And you can't go back. I mean, if it's tipped over, I would like to think that our guy would, but I will confirm that as well. Because if I'm driving the truck, that's the one-off. I went from getting out of my truck over 100 times a day to having to get out and pick one up. I'll do that.
We can give you the snowplow guy's number too.
I think the snowplow operator would pick it up on his way by the other.
After he knocks it over.
Yeah.
So, Tim, I guess what we're saying is, try to work us up some numbers and a better deal and come back next month.
Yeah, I'll see you with $5.
And the two things I'd like to see addressed is the possibility of our residents being able to deliver large items straight to the,
That would help.
their,
Right.
That would help.
and I would like to know.
Deliver with a ID and say,
I mean, why not? You're gonna get it anyway.
And the other thing would be, I'd like to know the number of dumpsters for that spring and fall cleanup, and kind of exactly what we're looking at.
They may have a difficult time with a driver's license though, Doug. They'd have to know the addresses within our town, but we could make up some type of badge
Could we do
that
a
the
permitting
homeowners,
system?
yeah, that the homeowners could pick up here that would be, you know, or we could mail it to them.
yeah, I don't want to muddy it too much, but I can't answer your question right now though about how many containers.
Yep.
It's the first time we're doing it. There's new numbers, 2,775 residents currently on the program. We would bring 3, 4, and if they start to fill up, we'll bring additional. We'll just, because it's the first time, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't.
Okay.
know.
Or anything else, anybody else?
Well, as far as residents dropping off right at the landfill, we can't expect Waste Management's scale master to determine.
I know.
whether
Yeah,
they're
that's gonna be a tough,
Right.
that'd be too tough. for you.
That's why I'm
That scale
saying,
master's busy all day, trucks in, trucks out, they can't be looking at a map and.
right, that's what I'm saying. Well, they could take a copy of their tax bill. I mean, that's proof.
I
Or,
don't know how that.
Is
Yeah,
there
I
something
don't
that
know.
we could issue that couldn't be easily copied or something? I mean, a
Yeah.
metallic sticker or something that we purchased that,
maybe just ask them what we can do to help aid that process,
Okay,
because we'd be open to suggestions.
'cause the last thing we want to see is mattresses and couches and that being dumped on some of our dead-end roads
Right.
and
and,
less populated areas.
and we, unless it's locked up somewhere, we can't leave a container sit out because you have
Right.
people from all over.
Yep.
Coming to,
We know this one, yeah? Okay. Yes, sir.
I was just gonna say for the town of Rome, they've got
Your name, sir, please?
my name is David Rapp.
Okay, David. Sure.
They have a plastic thing that looks very similar to like a handicap thing. Put that on your thing, and they get a new one every year, and the date on it is big. It's thick, and it's like wood burned or engraved with the year on it, so you have to get a new one every, you have to prove to the town, when you got one, you have to prove to the town your address and things like that, they will give you one. And you're allowed to get in that way. You have to show it, if you don't show it, you don't get in.
Well, that's not for the dump, that's for their transfer site, correct?
Correct,
Yeah, so every resident needs that there because they do not do garbage pickup.
that is correct.
Right.
I'm just saying for the big items to go.
Yeah. See what their suggestions are.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. I've taken more notes tonight than I usually do, so I appreciate everyone's
We have
input. I do.
One more, just a minute.
I'm
Rob?
not certain of the question, I just needed some clarification, but I believe that if you call Waste Management from the town of Saratoga and say, let's say you had a couch or a bed, they would come and pick it up on, I believe it's Fridays. that they-
Right, that's how it works now, but with his proposal, that's not,
That's not how it's gonna be.
you're right. So we gotta figure something else out.
Yeah,
So,
because that would save on.
right. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Jim,
you all
for
very much. I
Showing
appreciate,
up here
I
today.
appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, we had some questions, we got some answers. All right, moving on. Updates since the previous meeting, constable report. No constable. Building inspector. Zoning administrator. Okay, so at our last town board meeting, we had a motion by Chase and a second by,
You jumping ahead to number 9?
am I jumping ahead to number 9? Okay, well, I'm gonna finish.
That's fine, I'm just
Okay.
making sure, because
Josh. So a motion by Chase and a second by Josh that we would get together with the plan commission, the board, and the zoning administrator and go over the line items on the comp plan, I'm sorry, on the zoning ordinance and try to work as many out that we could with the help of the attorney. And I was approached by the Plan Commission chairman to see if they could have one more look at it and see what they could work out with the zoning administrator and see if they could get the gray areas worked out. So I contacted the attorney. The attorney said, yes, that doesn't go against anything that was motioned at the meeting, and if you still want to go forward with that, you can, or you can take it back to the townspeople and see if they still want to go ahead with it after having the discussion at the Plan Commission. Now, at the Plan Commission, okay, so I'm going to be speaking as a zoning administrator, so Chase is going to take over as the town board chairman. So what happened is that we met and we discussed all the points in the zoning ordinance, and there were several, in fact, almost all of them that had been discussed and kind of ironed out, and it was taken to a vote from the Plan Commission if they would recommend, if the Plan Commission would recommend to the town board to take the motion that was made back to the town board and see if it would be, what is that,
rescinded.
rescinded. And the motion that was made was not,
It failed on a 3-3 vote, so
Thank
at
you.
a 3-3 vote, it's basically dead in the water at that point. It doesn't pass,
yeah. So it was dead in the water, and it was dead because some people didn't want to make waves, is how it came out. So at this point in time, the zoning ordinance is being fixed the way that the Plan Commission and the zoning administrator had agreed to. There are some points that have to come back to the board to have the board review. I'm sorry, I didn't get that done. I'm in the process of doing it, and then it will be brought back to the board. So I guess other than that, as a zoning administrator, I am working on the personnel policy, which I did finish that, and that is in the hands of the attorney. I was hoping to have that back today so that we could adopt that, but it was not in my email before I came over here. So that is my report as a zoning administrator. So I can take it back, Chase. So now I'm back as the chairman. So moving on, road crew. Caston?
Range line is now shouldered. So that was done, was it Monday or Tuesday that was done?
Yeah, rain, Monday?
Monday. Yeah,
So it's all beautiful.
it is beautiful.
Good.
Signs are picked up, it's clean.
It's all good to go, and then, the dips probably won't get paid until what, October, is what we're thinking of.
All right, when is,
I think we had October 31st for the deadline to be
that's the,
completed.
that's the deadline on the dips, is October 31st.
Okay, so somewhere in there it'll get paid.
Well, they still need to get out for bids, correct?
Yep, it was submitted for bids and it's on our next agenda to open up.
And then, chip seal start Friday for Evergreen, Deer Ridge, Bell Road,
Church.
and Church, yeah. Church Avenue. So Friday that'll start.
Tentative.
Yeah.
Depending on weather?
Hopefully, yeah,
Okay.
that's all I got.
Anything you'd like to add there, Douglas?
Yes, I've been in discussions with the county, we're going to start putting the gravel on Ranger Road starting next week, pulverizing last week in August, paving early September. So hopefully that'll end up being done early September sometime. Any questions?
Everybody good? All right. Moving on, Plan Commission, Josh.
Plan commission, again, as Laurel mentioned, we looked through word by word the zoning ordinance, made some changes. Those changes are being made now, with another draft or a updated draft, I guess you'd say. And that'll be ready for the board to review. It'll go to the board from after those changes are made. Plan Commission is also working on, or we're reviewing and discussing the mobile home ordinance and a potential land division ordinance. So those drafts will be prepared and presented to the board as soon as they're ready.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Thanks. All right. Clerk?
Just real simple, when there's requests for items to be put on the agenda, chairman has the official say of what is or isn't to go on. But just be clear who you send it to me and be specific, so I don't have to decipher and assume. Because I want to make sure I have it clear and concise on the agenda once the chairman gives the approval.
Thank you. Treasurer?
I just want to clarify when we were talking about the garbage and recycling, when we do come up with those numbers, I'll make sure to present it at a board meeting, how we calculate that out. Because it is services rendered, but the fee is actually calculated at the new rate with the additional fees that were collected or that were charged to us as far as the fuel surcharge. So I just wanted to make that clear because I doubted myself after I said it out loud. So, but once we come up with a new number, I'll make sure at a board meeting, I'll let everyone know how it was all calculated out. Okay?
Informational announcements by board members. I guess I'm going to start out by saying that Caston and I went to school last week. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. So 6 hours a day, 2 days, we learned PACER rating, and what that is how to rate the roads for how good they are, how bad they are. It brought back a lot of schooling for me. It was very educational, and I appreciate the town letting me sit in front of the computer for 6 hours a day. The other thing, a lot of you have noticed that we had the solar panel in the entranceway over at the town hall. Compliments of the old town board, and we have decided to move it, and I'll tell you why. We would like to make a dedicated wall to the solar array. So they have okayed by sending us, they're going to be sending us some photographs of the solar array as it was being put in different stages, and then they're gonna put depictions underneath each picture. And what I'd like to do is make that whole wall in the back all about the solar and what it did for the town, how it was constructed, what the future of it looks like, and how we can build economic development off of it. Because we want to promote our solar plant or our solar array here in the town that's making us look like ours is better than what is going to be in Grant and what is going to be in Rome. We want people to come in, and it is a true fact. If you think about it, they actually own the land that they have put this solar array on, and they have been very good partners to the town of Saratoga versus what we are hearing that is being proposed at this point in time to other municipalities. So I really think we came out on the good side of this. And I do have to say it was a lot because of the previous boards working so hard and the attorneys they had gotten involved and all the hard work that was done previously. And I think we have to build on something. It's kind of like, if you're handed lemons, make lemonade. So we got it, let's promote it, let's bring people in and celebrate what we have and make it different. So that's going on. Chase, do you have anything?
Not much that's not on later on. I've been looking up information for camera system that I can go through. I believe that's on here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really about it, as far as just dealing stuff up there, so.
Roger?
So I was the one that submitted information to Paulette and Lorelei in regards to the Community Wildfire Protection Program. Didn't specify what that's about. The information was readily available. In the information I forwarded, we talked it over in early September. We're going to have it put on the agenda. Amy Penn from the DNR will also be at the meeting, and there's specific grant money out there, federal grant money, that we can put in for and obtain small equipment, big equipment. We need to discuss that as a town board and agree that we're willing to do that. There's some extra work, quarterly reporting, so we're gonna have to bring that to the table and discuss it. We all received an email from a resident, and it's in regards to, I'm not gonna read it to you, I'm gonna state that when we meet in these public meetings, let's please have decent etiquette for each other. When someone says something, if someone else doesn't like it, please refrain from interruptions, please refrain from negative comments to our other residents, and let's keep our meetings as positive as we can. We've been working on with the Wakely group down there a little bit. We have a solar bench that should be in shortly. We have, this is all volunteer work, framing up a pad. We're gonna put a solar bench down in the end of the cul-de-sac with a Wakely group. There's gonna be some concrete donated. We're also looking at trying to work on saving the old town hall that sits over here on 73 before it ends up in rubble. That's a long-term project. Hopefully we can come up with some funding through Alliant and maybe some other means to preserve that building. I guess I attended the planning and zoning meeting. I did attend the planning and zoning meeting this last Wednesday. They worked hard as a committee and they made great progress with the work that they did, and I'd like to thank you for that. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Roger. Josh?
I don't have any updates, so I yield my time to Supervisor Peterson.
Supervisor Peterson?
I'm talking with a few town residents here. Just I have a couple complaints. Doug, I don't know if like you and I and Caston, I'm getting constant complaints of the Hollywood and 73 intersection. A lot of it's still that flag. Let's see if we can move it more, but also mailboxes there. But I know with mailboxes, they have their own dimensions and places they have to be. The resident did bring up that it is a little bit of a downhill right there. So when they're sitting in smaller cars, the mailboxes are impeding their view. So they have to inch out closer to the highway, which they said they can see oncoming vehicles swerving and beeping at them because they think they're going to be going. So I don't know if there's some way we can look at that, maybe to level that intersection out a little bit
What
more.
intersection was it?
Hollywood and 73. Or so going north. So I don't know, I said I talked to you guys about it. see what-
Actually, if the mailboxes are on the state, is it a state highway issue?
Mailboxes, yes, but how about the intersection?
The intersection would be state also.
Okay. Maybe we can.
I can get a hold of the state DOT guy.
Okay. And then also had a couple of residences from the Yorkshire subdivision contact me just to see if they're on the list or when their road can be looked at. And something tells me they're gonna be contacting me quite often, so.
I thought we did contact them right away. In Yorkshire.
Yorkshire?
Yeah,
No,
we didn't tell them. I thought we put them on the list. Okay,
That's a patch list.
okay. Thank you. Anything else, Brian?
no.
All right. Anybody in the audience have any questions for what you've heard up here? All right, moving on. Approval of previous minutes. I'm sure my board has had a chance to look at them.
Make a motion to approve the previous minutes.
Second motion.
I have
August 2nd.
the August 2nd minutes. I have a motion by Chase, a second by Roger. All in favor? All against? Motion passes. Minutes. Ranger Road paving discussion and explore using the ARPA funding. I believe that we did discuss using ARPA funding when we were discussing paving Ranger Road, but I don't think that was included in the motion.
I think in general, we should probably have that in the motion to use those funds just to cover funds.
That's what we did for range.
We did, yeah, we did it.
We couldn't use ARPA funds for regional.
No, because we would risk losing our grant opportunity there. So we did not for range lane, specifically for that reason. And I believe it was you who made the motion.
To use.
Well, to do Ranger Road.
Oh, right.
So I believe it's, you would need to.
We just want to use the ARPA funds to do it.
Right.
And
So you're looking for a motion?
yes, please.
I'm making a motion to use ARPA funding to help with payment of the Ranger Road paving.
Okay, I have a motion by Brian to use the ARPA funds to pay for the Ranger Road paving. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second by Josh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Motion passes. Okay, the ARPA funding, just to keep you guys in the loop, that's the money that we received from the COVID. All the communities received money, and we have areas where we can only use it, and we have to earmark those areas before the end of next year, and we do have a lot of money left in there, so this would be a great way to spend it, is on our roads. So that works out really well. That's why we're suggesting using it there. Okay. The next proposal for NEPCO Lake District Association regarding storage of equipment. Again, I attended a meeting for the NEPCO Lake District on Saturday. And this is, the people around NEPCO Lake, they made themselves a little district because their development wasn't cleaning up the lake the way that they wanted it to, so they made their own little district. And in doing so, they are now cleaning up the lake. The citizens have to pay. We are exempt from paying even though we have property around the lake because we are a municipality. However, we're still invited to the meetings, and as a result of that, they have sent us an email requesting that we help store their equipment that they use to clean up the lake. They have 2 harvesters, I believe there are 2, that they want to store on our property, not in our buildings, because they're the association of the lake, the owners of the lake, the owners of the land, don't want them storing them on their land any longer, so they're looking for a place to store them. And being that we are a member, they have asked us if they could bring them over here and store them, well, potentially over here, store them on town property.
What about on?
They didn't specify over here, they just specified on town property, so my assumption was here, but I'll let the board decide what they want to do. They did need 100 square foot of indoor storage, however, I don't think we have 100 feet of indoor storage to spare. The outdoor storage, we do have a lot of land. My concern would be the liability.
Now, these machines are still owned by the developer, correct?
They are owned by the developer. This Nepco Lake District is leasing them from the developer for 10 years. And in lieu of that lease being so low, they have to give them a reduced cost of their property.
Okay.
But they don't want to have them stored on the Nepco Lake. Yes, it's, yeah,
Maybe I can help you.
sure,
I'm a
please.
member of that district.
Can you
Great.
state name and address? Just
Name is Mike Goryl, Goryl, 877 Quietwater Trail. And the 2 fellas actually who sent you the letter and
Yes,
have been kind of spearheading the weed cutting. One had a family issue down in Cincinnati this morning that he had to leave, so he couldn't be here. And the other one, I think, is in Atlanta, unfortunately. But I'm kind of third in line for answering these kind of questions.
great, thank
Some
you.
I can, some I can't. So if you want to give me, let me tell you about the weed machines in that situation first, and I'll maybe answer some questions, and I'd be happy to answer any that I can, okay? First, the weed machine. 2, you may have seen them, they're very large, they're, about 25 to 30 feet long, and with the paddle wheels on the side, they're run by a paddle wheel, not by a propeller underneath. And with the paddle wheels on the side, paddle wheels are about 2.5 feet on each one, so you get to something that's 15, 16 feet wide. And they have sickles on the front, and they go through, and they can raise and lower them, and there are DNR guidelines that we have to follow with those, of course. You can't cut, you have to make sure your cutters stay at least 3 feet above the lake bottom, that sort of thing. So the only issue with that is that it requires more cutting, because where you've got 6 or 7 feet of water, it'd be nice to take off 6 feet at once, but you only take off 3. So, those are just the kind of things that go with it, with the DNR rules, and they're smart rules. You don't want to ruin the lake. I mean, that lake has been great, I think, for people around here. I know when I moved in 9 years ago, we built our place on the lake. I remember the first 4th of July, there were boats. Not everywhere, but there were a lot of boats. So many that you ended up getting the sheriff out there giving tickets to people who weren't acting properly. This last 4th of July, we probably had 10 boats out there. And I think the reason is because when the developer decided they weren't going to cut weeds any longer, then the weeds grew up. And the weeds hadn't been cut now for about 4 or 5 years, and they're thick. And if you want to try to pull a skier, or a lot of people pull these rafts and things, I'm too old for that, but you can't do it because your prop gets full, in 5 minutes or less, and then you got to stop. You got to try to back up to get the weeds off, and you don't want to back up if you got your kids on a raft behind you. So it's just, hey, I can tell you that from my experience. I have 3 grandchildren, and they don't get pulled on a raft anymore, because we can't, you know. But what I've seen happen, which I think is terrible, is that a beautiful lake that used to be used by an awful lot of people isn't anymore, you know? Now, ask me if I want to have 150 boats on the lake next 4th of July. Nah, but you know what? That's not for me to decide. That lake belongs to the community. And when the developer first started, and we live in a place called Clearwater Bay, we were the first house built on Clearwater Bay, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And the developer, and I don't want to talk about the developer bad here. I don't want anybody to think I'm talking bad about those people. But a lot of people complain, oh, the wheat harvesting wasn't good enough and all that kind of stuff. And back then, I actually made a proposal to the developer to form a lake association. But we needed his help. It's a lot of work. This has been going on for 2 to 3 years right now to do this. Work with the state, work with the DNR, and follow a whole lot of rules, which are smart rules. It just takes time. And now we're getting to the point where we can finally do something about it. And I think what's going to happen is it's really going to be good for the lake, because now all of a sudden we're able to count weeds. If you want to buy a weed machine nowadays, they're looking at, I think, about $65,000 to $75,000 each. Our lake association at this point has no money. We operate what we're doing. We finally got a loan from a nice bank in the Coosa there. I think we all had mortgages with them. And so they said, oh yeah, we know you guys. We'll help you. And they were great. They really are great. And Ms. Nessa, who was there. But, so we really don't have a whole lot of money except for the loan we got from the bank. And a lot of things that we're doing right now come out of the pocket of 3 or 4 people. So if we need diesel fuel to run a wheat machine, and they take a lot of diesel fuel, guess what? This is where it comes from. Not from anywhere else. Now, maybe someday I'll get paid back. I don't know, but I'm not the only one doing this. All of us who are involved and who live on the lake and want to see it go back to where it used to be a good fishery, be a nice recreation place, are doing that thing. If we get paid back, we get paid back, who cares? Time moves on. So what we've got are 2 weed machines that the developer has kind of lent to us. We have to maintain. They have not been maintained for about 5 years now. They've just been sitting by the side of the road, a whole eyesore, and they've been rain, they've been snow, they've been in vandalism, they've been theft, the engines and all the operator compartments are full of mice, wires are chewed, just a mess. It's a Buick who are mechanically inclined, no motors and diesel engines and such. We got a job for you if you want it, except it doesn't pay anything. And, so we do that right now, but we know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We can store those by the side of the road if we have them. Except that next year we'll be going through all of or most of the same maintenance that we had to do this year just to get them up and running for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we'd like to get them away from them. It'd be great if you had indoor storage. We're not expecting it. The only good thing about indoors is we work on in the spring when it starts to warm up a little bit, maybe keep it. It'd be nice to be able to work on it in the spring before they go back on the lake. Let's see, I'm probably staying a lot longer, a lot more than I need to, but we just need some space to get them away from the road. Maybe we're going to be out in the parking lot or something, and have to be some responsibility. But hopefully, if they're in a secured area, we won't get people stealing things, and we won't have vandalism, which has cost a lot to prepare all that. So that's kind of what we're looking for, a place where we get them off next to the highway where they are now, where they'll be safe. I have 2 barrels of hydraulic fluid in my garage right now. And Jeff Manor and Lyman, who are names of people who have been very active with this, have the same thing. They do parts, hydraulic fluid, all kinds of stuff. The only thing you don't have, fortunately, is diesel fuel or explosive. So that's what we're asking. If Saratoga can give us a hand, give us a place where we can set these things, we'll move them. We don't have to move them. We'll pick them up, you know, cool things like that. If you had a storage area, maybe you don't have 100 square feet, maybe 50 square feet, we could move some things. My wife, soon to be, if I don't get that hydraulic fluid out, my ex-wife. And I don't. You better I got to but that's a good idea. So that's what this is something to help us out because we are helping the community. Anybody who wants to go on that lake, keep going. With no restrictions. The problem right now, we're trying to work on it. The problem right now is the access to the east side of the lake, and if you have a bigger boat, you can't get under the bridge. Highway. We would love to have access on the other side of the lake, so everybody could get on a good boat or something. A lot of them can't fit under the bridge, so yeah.
Mike, have you talked to the RV owners, the
RV parks?
the recreational parks? I
No.
mean, the owners like Greenways or?
I have, if they have, I haven't been involved in that piece. Don't think so. Don't think so. Look for something fairly close by, whatever.
Maybe closer than those.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can't answer that. We can get to that answer, sure.
As far as indoor storage for the machines, we don't have the space, we barely have enough to store our own.
And totally understand. That's kind of loud. You know, the clouds opening in heaven, but just a place to get them off the road.
Now, as far as secured, we would struggle depending on your definition of secured as well. We do have a camera system that's soon to be going up around here.
Next week.
But there's no fence, anybody can drive in.
Maybe the camera system, you probably don't have a whole lot. I mean, the vandalism and the theft that you get is mischievous, that sort of thing. I mean, what do you want with a 14-foot flywheel? You know, unless maybe you have a window or something. How do we look at that? And it's malicious. Somebody else to go in and look at it and say, oh, there's not a cigarette lighter here, so we rip out the wire. Stop. Well, somebody has to spend half a day fixing.
And like I said, secure is depending on your definition.
Well,
so if you consider camera secure, we have the space that we can discuss here, I guess.
That's more secure than it is right. I don't know if you've ever seen where they're stored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just.
One's right off 13, isn't
it? Yeah. And it's just sitting there inside, which is a great place to store it a couple weeks. Right there. But then from October to 1st of May, pretty isolated. A lot of trees in that area. Pretty isolated, a lot of mice.
Can I ask a question? Is there insurance carried on both those machines?
Yes.
And who carries the insurance?
I can find out. Very sure.
I do think one sticking point would be a release of liability for sure. Which, considering they are leased machines, we would need both the Lake District and the developer to probably sign off on that before we even consider. But I guess, are we even considering? This is more the question, discussion we need to have.
Are you considered a nonprofit?
I believe a Lake District is a nonprofit.
Then an RV dealer could write you off as a donation?
Possibly.
So, and they have all gated? And I know even one of the RV dealers has storage buildings. So I would think they would be a better fit than we would, especially if they could write it off as a donation.
If they're willing to do that. I mean, that's what, right now,
We don't have any money. We won't have money until next year. That's the problem.
A write-off is just as good as money. I would contact Lake Country, Greenway, contact them. As far as us, that would be something we'd have to talk about, I guess.
We can talk.
Um,
Right now, they can stay where they are.
For a couple months, right?
Oh, whatever they have, it's just not a good solution.
Okay.
But until we stop cutting weeds, stop permits in general.
So what's the timeline you would be asking for? From like late September through?
Late September through probably very early May.
Okay.
Yeah. Certainly, once the ice is out, the weeds won't be growing for a while. No sense. Put the boats there, you don't want to put them on there. No need to.
I guess we will talk it over. I'm not sure we can make a decision tonight unless gentlemen are ready to do that.
Well, I think if we check with the little RV dealer, if they're willing.
Yeah. Why don't you do your research, check with the RV dealers?
Okay.
I got a feeling somebody will work with you, but if they don't, we'll figure something out here, what we think is the best for Saratoga, and then, I have their contact, or I have Jeff's too.
Jeff is probably the better person to go with.
Yeah, he's gone this week, so I'll
He's
get, get with him next week and see what we can come up with as a group.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
I'm going to leave now, if that's okay. I don't get other questions.
No, we chain the doors, we do not leave till the
Okay,
end.
then I'll wait until we get you.
Go ahead, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody want to move forward with this right now, or are you all comfortable?
Let's see, do we want to do some discussion?
I think we are. Yeah. I know a couple people that do barns too. So I'll check them.
See what he finds out. If I want to see contacts, or if it's definitely, right now, maybe if he can find out.
Anybody in the audience have any questions in regards to that subject? Any suggestions?
Not in my backyard.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
I just want to share with everyone that we lost, one of our, that we lost, a member of our town of Saratoga family. Bob Jinkerson passed away on, August 13th. So I just wanted everyone to know, sweet man, and he will be missed.
You will be, definitely.
Prayers to his family.
You okay?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
And on the behalf of the town of Saratoga, we did send a plant or a lantern. So, yes, he will be missed. Okay, discussion of the combined plan commission and town board meeting. I discussed it as a zoning administrator, but now I would like to know if we are going to discuss it as the town and the town board and to rescind the motion to have a joint, or if we all want to still go ahead with having that joint with the attorney, the plan commission, and the town board. The lawyer said he would come, that's not the issue. I'm not sure that we need him, but that is my own opinion, and we did have that motion made. We would have to rescind the motion, but it has to be at a comfort level of everybody concerned, so.
Well, and as that goes, I did make the motion, so I would need to rescind that. I did attend the planning commission meeting, and they made huge strides at the last meeting. Basically addressed every issue there on item by item basis, that needed to be addressed. It seemed like at the end of that, there was a general consensus that further meeting was not needed, but as mentioned before, the motion to suggest that we rescind it did fail at a 3-3 vote. That being said, at this point, unless I hear something from the audience, my intention would be to rescind that now. So if anybody has any comments, I'd like to hear.
Bruce, let me, just one comment. I think, I was also at that meeting, and I concur with your assessment, and I think you can rescind your motion from 2 weeks ago.
Thank you, Bruce.
I have a question. What, if that is the case, what is the plan for the final vote?
Well, currently,
When it comes to that?
currently the final one is being compiled with all the changes. It's a big document, so it takes a lot of time to.
Right, it'll be
Get through.
time, but will people, will this be publicized so that people will know beforehand?
Yes, I'll make sure it's on Facebook, the finished draft. And then that will be the town board to make the decision on that draft. I did suggest it go back to the plan commission and they again said, no, just let the town board.
No, and I know the big contention was the lot sizes. Those did go back to the original.
1,
From the
3, and
suggestion.
5.
Yes, so I know that was the big contention at the last meeting. So for those concerned, that is where we're at.
We may want to check with whether it's legal counsel or statutorily, if, once that, all them changes are made and it's finalized and printed one final time, do we have to have a public hearing before we?
I will make sure that after I've made the changes that have been discussed, that it goes back to Nick and he reviews it one final time.
Because I
And
know that we had a public hearing
Yeah.
on the original draft before it went to the board, before the changes were made. So I think if any changes are made, I think we might have to have I don't know this for sure. I think we might have to have a public hearing before it can go to the board.
I did ask Nick that, and he said that if we wanted to, we could. If major changes were made, we may want to, just to keep the public informed. So I'm fine with whatever everybody else is agreeable to.
As hot a topic as it's been, I would suggest a public hearing before it goes to the board for final decision.
I think I'd agree with you on that.
That being said, I'd also like to say that legal counsel has already reviewed this document and gave his recommendations. The town board has looked at this document and had a chance to read through it. It went back to the plan commission. All the changes recommended by legal counsel were made, altered, and I agree that motion of Chase's could be rescinded.
Well, since I don't hear any objections at the moment, I'm just gonna make the motion then to rescind that meeting between the planning commission, the town board, and the lawyer.
Okay, the motion was made by Chase and seconded by, the original second was Josh.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the motion was made by Chase and seconded by Josh to rescind the original motion made at the last town board meeting to have a joint meeting with the attorney, the plan commission, and the town board. Do you need me to write that out? Oh, we have it on film?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I have a first by Chase, a motion by Chase, a second by Josh. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? I'm abstaining. Just due to the fact of my position. All right, ambulance contract discussion. Motion passed? Yes, I'm sorry. Chiefs, do you remember where we were, or Roger? I don't remember which one of you were in.
I was in at this meeting. Yes, we met, that was about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And basically what it amounts to is we are going to see a fairly,
Oh, yeah.
fairly large increase in our ambulance per capita charge. We were,
It was an enormous.
it was a very large increase. We were very fortunate as far as our, the previous contract. I got renewed just before COVID hit. I think it was January of 2020 when that went into effect. And so we are locked in till the end of this year. But through the last 3 years, there have been very large increases in medical supplies, everything related to EMT. So what we have in front of us here is a very large increase. Do you remember what we're paying now?
No, I wish I would have.
Okay, actually, I think that's,
We didn't bring.
this meeting was a while ago, so I apologize. It's, okay, I think we were down by $12.50, $11.50, somewhere along that, per resident, and
$12.50.
yes, and they are proposing. Let's see, what are they proposing here? I don't actually see that on here. Oh.
Are we missing that?
Recap rates.
I think we're gonna have to bring this back, Chase, because
I think so.
I don't have my minutes here.
The only, yeah, and the only discussion I think we can have on this is whether we should be pursuing another option.
So this was presented to us by Wisconsin Rapid.
Yes.
So the other option that we would have would be United
Yes, and they're out of Grand Rapids.
out of Grand Rapids. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with United. It's a very small company. We're kind of concerned about the response time and
But there's several concerns. Response time, number of EMTs that will be in the vehicle, the level of EMT that would be paramedic, that would be in each vehicle.
they were on call versus,
Right,
Manned.
versus the Wisconsin Rapids is manned 24/7. And I guess my main concern is that if we went to a private contractor, or even if our costs went down, our level of service would go down drastically. And as we have an aging community, that level of service is very important. So I guess I'll put it in front of you guys, but I think we need to bring this back with numbers, but I don't know that the costs.
I guess what we're saying is we really don't have a choice, but we'd like to tell you what the numbers are. Because I think all of us are concerned if something would happen to us or our spouse or whoever lives with us, we want the fastest response time, and cost isn't gonna be a concern at that point.
The highest level of medical training in those
Right.
responses as well.
So we'll bring back some price. I think we're kinda. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Yes.
I would like to see the numbers before we make a final decision.
Sure.
I agree, United is, they're a good company, they're just small,
Absolutely.
and their building isn't manned, Rapids is. I would also like to add that our Saratoga first responders are trained by Rapids Fire, at little to no cost.
At no cost.
Yeah.
That is
No cost.
included in our fees. Our responders are trained by them.
And they offer a stipend back to.
Yes, so
I failed to mention that, I'm sorry.
one thing I do want to mention, I work with a lot of other communities around, ones that do use United, that are extremely happy with their service with them. So it's not, they have good reviews. And you know, it's nothing against them.
Right.
Just gotta look after
How many-
residents.
How many Saratoga,
First responders.
first responders are there?
We would be at 17 or 18.
So 17 or 18 first responders live in Saratoga, would respond at the same time, right? Would respond.
Would we? Yes.
They could respond at the same time as a page. And the cost of emergency medical response training is through the roof. And to have them train 17 or 18 people for free is, in my book, the price is.
I think at this point, we just need to get the numbers in front of us to see what it is. Make a decision whether we do try to go out for bids.
I'm sorry, yes.
Madam Chair, what is our population? What number are we looking at?
5,084 as of Monday. How was that?
And I want to say, if I remember correctly, the number that they're proposing was 171,000.
I think you're right. It was in there, yeah.
Now, this was a couple months ago, I'm going off the top of my head, but I think it was right around 171.
It was.
And going up from, was it 85 that we're currently paying?
Say last night it was like 42, but that was.
It was a while ago. I think the last contract was around 85,000 or something along those lines. So it's a very significant increase.
I actually thought he was kidding. I really did. And-
Almost sounds like inclusive when you walk in the door.
Yeah, it does. I agree. Yeah. And I asked him, why so much? What the heck? And he said the cost of materials that they're using, keeping staff, they have to pay, you have to pay a decent wage to keep somebody. Wisconsin Rapids isn't real big, so, we understand, it's just, we don't want to pay it.
Well, you got somebody right there sitting at the table that should be able to give us some really good information out of you, sir.
I'm glad she's here. You betcha.
We don't just get training when we go to our monthly meetings. I mean, if we have questions, on a call, I mean, the paramedics are amazing.
They absolutely are.
So, I mean, every call is, they help us with everything too.
One thing I will point out too, before I was on this board, I attended a lot of Towns Association meetings and covered them. I cover an area of 7 counties that I've attended meetings at quite a bit. And this has been a problem basically statewide. The numbers are going up across the board. So this is not just them coming after us. This is a statewide number. It's expensive.
Okay, that being said, we're gonna bring you back some numbers next meeting. Next item on the agenda is employee handbook, and it is at the attorney's. I asked the attorney to put a couple items in that employee handbook in regards to grievance procedure and some documentation for the employees to sign during a grievance, or just stating that they got the handbook and they agree with it. So that's taking a while. I thought it'd be done, but it just didn't quite make it. So that'll be on the next agenda. Next item, certified survey map for Tammy Kraus, 1321 Highland Avenue. Has everyone had a chance to look at this? So this is a approximate 5-acre parcel, 3.53 acre parcel, and she's splitting off approximately 1.5 acres, so dividing it almost in half, but not quite.
I don't believe so. That's lot 1 would be 3.5, lot 2 would be 1.
So it was 5 acres, is that what I?
So they're taking a third.
Okay. I gave a little report, there it is.
Yeah, 1.41 and see the other one, 1.41, 3.53 and 1.41.
It does meet everything in our, thank you. It does meet everything in our zoning currently. It will not with our next zoning due to the fact that that's only 33 feet wide on Highland Avenue. But right now it does meet all the parameters.
I guess since it meets our current zoning, there's really not a whole lot we can do at this point. Can't make them go by our proposed zoning, so I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second that motion and state that this was reviewed by the planning commission and recommended for approval.
Motion by Chase, a second by Josh to approve the CSM for Tammy Kraus based on the fact that it was recommended by the Plan Commission for approval. So I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Thank you, Kim. Sorry, I'm taking time to sign this. I forget. All right, moving on. Sign permit for auto extras. As you know, on the highway, there is a business auto extras. It sits behind another business, and they're coming in for a sign. The sign was approved by the state because it's a state highway, so all we're doing is reaffirming that, yeah, it's okay with us too. So I'll need a motion.
This is on 13 in commercial.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the sign permit for auto extras on 9404 Highway 13, so.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Josh and a second by Roger for the approval of the sign permit for Auto Extras LLC at 9404 Highway 13 South. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, moving on. Oh, we're back to this 3CX cloud phone system quote. This was for the phone system for the ease in the office of people calling in instead of getting a busy signal, or instead of talking to a machine, they will be transferred to the phone of the person that they are calling. And whether that person picks up or not is entirely up to that person, but they will receive the call instantaneously. So this came at a cost. And the first time it was on the agenda, we had the verbiage, but we didn't physically know how it worked. And we were provided with a YouTube video on how it performed. It cost $10,656. That's over a 3-year period, I believe. So.
Actually, I believe the way this reads is that is a total cost for the 3 years.
Yes, it is,
And
but
after that,
it's,
there would be a yearly cost.
What do we pay for phone
Then it's
service?
350.
What's that?
What do we pay for phone service?
Solaris.
Yeah, how much is it?
I just paid the bill, I wanna say, is it one, where is it from? No, maybe like 175-ish.
That's just for phone, or is that phone and internet?
Phone, internet, and fax in the office, and then a phone in this building here. Because we have to have a phone in here for curbside voting for the election.
So if we were to go with this, we would still be paying Solaris, you said, right?
We would still have to have
We still
internet.
have to
Yep, and
pay
we
that.
still have to have the phone here.
This would take care of the phone here.
No, it would not. Don't quote me on it, I'm not sure.
so this is main office, EMS, garage, building inspection clerk,
Yeah, I think it would be
deputy
phones, I
clerk,
think it
treasurer,
would be
health,
phones
kitchen,
throughout.
board members.
Three phones.
Garage, EMS, and hall.
I realize that this is, it's actually a pretty big expense, but I think the residents, for the calls that come in and the questions, to be able to speak to somebody specifically, and the hidden features of this, Lorelei, am I correct, when it can go directly to your phone too?
Yeah, That,
outside of the office.
there's 3 main ports, and off those ports, the calls that come in will be then, you can press 1 for the building inspector, 2 for the zoning administrator, and then my personal phone will ring and it'll come up with a specific number that I know that it's being rerouted from Saratoga, and I can choose to answer it, or I can choose to leave a voicemail, or whatever I would choose to do at that point in time, but it's going to me if it's a call for me, versus in the morning having 15 phone calls that have to be answered, rerouted, or whatever, so,
And this would be everybody would have an option?
yes,
So instead of,
the people that are listed there, yes.
instead of cell phone use or whatever, I mean, it would still go to Brian's phone.
It would
They
go to-
just have to push 2 for Brian.
But he would have a town phone number that would be directed to his phone.
Now, the huge advantage of that is, as board members cycle out, get voted out, whatever, that number stays the same.
Phone number doesn't change.
Right.
You know, the residents will have an easier time keeping that consistent, rather than every time there's a change, all the phone numbers change. So,
Lorelei, am I reading this correctly where it says, the yearly charge is $350, but then the 4 trunks, that's what's, they're used to keep to generate all the different phones and everything is $840.
Yes,
yeah, I remember it
year.
being $1,200 or $1,300 a month or a year after that 3-year period.
Okay, and then I do see an additional charge of the 312, so doing the math, we're looking at 8, 11, just under $1,200, $100 a month, which is right where we're at,
yeah,
pretty close.
Yeah.
So,
It's
other
the
than the
initial-
initial charge.
yeah, the initial installation is the bite.
I envy calling another municipality and having a choice of press 1 to talk to so-and-so. You know, we don't have that, it's one number, and if somebody's on that phone, it goes right to voicemail. There is no option, even though there's, 2 other people in the office, they don't have the option of answering the phone. It automatically goes to the voicemail because we only have one line.
How long a contract is this? 3 years?
3,
So at the end of 3 years, we can say, get this out here.
yeah, but
For that
we're
kind of
paying for all that stuff already
Yeah.
though. I mean, that's equipment, so we better be sure we want
The
it.
yearly is really only $1,502.
Well, yeah,
So-
break down the bottom, so 35.52 a year.
That's to pay for it. He doesn't need that whole 10,000 for all the equipment the
Right,
first year.
that's
Right.
averaging all those costs out for 3 years.
Okay.
But when this is all said and done after 3 years, well, price increases are probably gonna come about, but at the current yearly and monthly charges, you're gonna be looking at $1,502 a year.
I wish we would have had this
So-
earlier on the agenda so we could have got more
If you
people.
multiply that by 3,
feedback.
only $4,500 of this is the monthly and yearly fees. The other $6,000,
It's
60,
just equipment.
150 is a one-time equipment cost.
And
So-
ARPA funds can be used for this.
Right,
It's,
yeah.
it's communication, the communication was a big thing for the ARPA thing, so I believe that could, even before they loosened the change, the regulations on that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask who provided your quote? Who are you paying this service
This is
for?
from Tech Pros.
This is what I do for a living. I work on phones every day, so
Hey,
I'm super familiar with everything you just said.
all
There's
right,
plenty of other Solaris would offer the same kind of service. I don't know what they would charge. I guess my suggestion would be don't just be focused on one solution. There's plenty of solutions out there.
good to know.
I work for Associated Bank, so we have our own system, but it's totally different because we deal at a large scale. So there's plenty of, it's no different than taking your car to a repair shop, right? It's, you can go to a Ford garage, a Chevy garage, and so on. It's the same thing. So I guess my suggestion would be, from the concerns everybody has been saying, is the cost. Maybe try another provider and see how that compares.
We deal with Solaris already.
Yeah.
Right, and
I-
Solaris
I-
offers the same, I guarantee you they offer all the same features, the same as what you've been, quoted.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. I'll check.
Would every company use the same equipment? You know, that you're buying initially?
I don't know.
What do you,
All the phones are 10,000, to spend on all their stuff.
They
That
have
would
the-
be purchased for here, so it wouldn't be, I don't know what you,
What I mean is would Solaris be able to use the same equipment? If they
would
decide
have
after 3 years to leave whatever they've got, then would they have to repurchase all the equipment?
and I'll be honest, after 3 years, the technology moves so
It's gonna
fast,
be
it's not worth anything.
So it would be constant.
So maybe Solaris would be better just because we'd be renting the equipment. And then in the end of 3
Well-
years, we're not on the hook for anything.
Depending on how they do it, it may be
Right.
Right.
purchase or something, but that might be something to
Okay.
look at getting some other quotes.
Who wants to follow up on that? Okay, I will. All right, I'll get a hold of somebody next week. All right. Is everybody okay with tabling that then?
Yeah.
Okay. Camera system for the town hall to record meetings. Okay, so we have this system. We wanna get something for over in the other buildings, so we don't have to lug this thing out. I don't mind doing it in the spring, in the summer, and the fall, but the wintertime is kind of iffy. Only once, if it broke just once, we'd be out tons of money. So I'd like to see if we could find something a little smaller that works.
All right, so I kind of ahead on this, I did not print multiple copies of the actual equipment, but I'll pass those around. We'll pass around kind of the criteria I was looking at, to try to find something. I think one of those is actually duplicated under there under the ones. I'll be honest, there's hundreds of different
Okay.
systems out there. I know we had mentioned we have the quote from Tech Pros for the camera and the Nook PC. And I did talk to him about it. The big advantage to that one is it's what I would consider a push and play. You push a button and it starts recording. You don't need a computer hooked up. Now there's cost, that's almost $4,000 on that.
Can that go on YouTube, like our meetings do?
Yes, well, yeah, it basically records and then.
Oh, then we
And
download
then
it, okay.
Paulette would have remote access to get those files off there, I believe, because they're on our network.
Yeah, everything now is stored on that computer. There's a computer with the
Yes.
TV, everything's on there, and so I have to remote to
Right.
upload it to YouTube.
So that's where a lot of these wants came in as far as making sure there's access and all that.
Okay.
Now, I know we had previously looked at the OWL
The
system.
OWL.
That was $10.50. It's got a lot of flaws in it. One of the big ones is you cannot use external microphones with it for a sound system, because the way it operates, it zones in on who's talking, and if there's a speaker in the back, it's gonna think that speaker is what's talking.
was gonna take the camera to the
Right.
speaker.
Oh.
And on top of that, trying to do these where it's changing position and changing who talks, the focus, they're not very smooth. And if you have one speaker speaking for a long time, it might be fine, but if you have people speaking, it's gonna jump from person to person quickly. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't like that idea, period. I did look up another one. Well, I looked up several others, most of them were deleted. I've got a third one here by Candow. It can operate in the same way as the OWL, where it shifts focus, but it actually has an Android operating system and can record directly. So it can develop into that plug and play or that push and play where it can actually record right onto the device and be accessed. That option was $1,400. this all goes with it. There's an option that has a screen built into it. That's $2,900, but that, I'll be honest, I think that's overpriced and not really needed.
So after you did the research, Chase, which one would you recommend and why?
Well, it would be to go with, I'll be honest, I'm kind of torn. There's a huge difference in cost between these. But this has service behind it, and this is, the other option is gonna end up being a DIY.
Oh.
You know, we're gonna have to figure out how it works. It's not gonna be a tutorial and everything. Yes, this is Tech Pros.
What was the price on
$39.65 on that. And so I'm rather torn, because if it were me in my house, I'd be going with the middle of the road option that I could figure out and do. Go ahead.
Not to throw a skew in all the research you've done, but any of the phone system providers can offer a video conferencing solution. So when you reach out to Slayers, tell them you're also interested in that, and they can make you a package deal and tie in. It's all called unified communications nowadays, so it's all tied in together.
Okay.
So, I'm not taking away from what you did,
No,
but
that'd be great. I mean, looking at it, there's hundreds of them.
Yeah,
Trying to
exactly.
Figure it out and figuring out which ones, I mean, 90% of them, after a quick look, I eliminated because it didn't fit even fit the needs. Wasn't easy to use.
Sure.
And they barely covered any of the ones.
Right.
So,
And any of them should be able to do an analysis and get some, input of what you're trying to accomplish, and then design something, cost in mind,
Okay.
and I mean, I'm fine. I can talk to them and try to bring this to the next meeting. I'm not sure I'm comfortable making a suggestion one or over the other. There's a huge difference in cost, but I also know that somebody's gonna have to figure out how this works.
I would like to approach Solaris and see if they can do us a package deal.
Again, they're gonna,
and they would support it,
Yeah.
like you're exactly right, what you're saying, is somebody's gonna have to learn how to do this, so you go out and just purchase it. And then you run into technical support over the phone.
Well, and the biggest thing trying to move away from this is we don't want it tied to somebody up here with a computer trying to operate it. It needs to be in its own unit. So otherwise, if somebody's missing, we don't have that computer that's tied to it, all of a sudden we can't.
Right.
So it needs to be a standalone, easy to operate system.
Like you said, there's tons of options out there, so that'd be my recommendation, just reach out to them. Since you're gonna reach out to them anyways, see if they can put a package together for you.
Do we have to make a motion? Okay. We'll just table it until I can get some.
And Lorelai already started on your Solaris. I already contacted somebody, so.
All right, thank you.
last one about,
All right, review a quote for the water heater in the town hall. So, the town hall, we've been getting orange water, and it's coming just from the hot water lines. So we know that we need to replace the water heater. We could try, emptying it and then, cleaning it out again, but this would be the third or fourth time that's been done. So I had a Kellner Williams give us a quote for a new water heater. And I asked them for a standard vent, which is what we have now. Then I asked them for a power vent, which would be more efficient because it draws the fluid, it draws the gases out, and so it runs more efficiently. And then I also asked them to quote us a power, on demand, which being that the place is empty a lot, was probably the best choice. However, the cost is also about triple, correct?
Yeah, 3,800 here.
So, and then to keep this from happening again, I asked to quote a inline filter before it gets to there. So you guys all see the quotes in front of you. I did talk to Shad, and he said he would give us that price if we decided to go with it, even though it says it was not good after 30 days. So, discussion, please. Yes, Josh?
The tankless heater is significantly more.
Oh, yeah.
What's the longevity of it?
I asked him that. He said they last a lot longer than they did before, but, I didn't ask what the warranty was on this particular one, I'm sorry.
You know, if it was $2,500 for a power vent, which I think is the way to go. It's $2,500 and only. what,
1,300 more.
If it's only 1,300 more and it lasts 3 times as long, then it's worth it, but if it might last a year longer, then I don't know if it is.
Okay.
I think in general, to be honest, tankless has a lot more moving parts.
True.
Potential to fail. So if we're looking at longevity, a tank water heater is pretty simple. You know, you should be replacing or cleaning the rod. But
But doesn't a tankless only operate when it's called for, when hot water is called for?
yes.
So therefore, it wouldn't be continuously operating like the other two.
True.
Is that true?
Yeah.
You don't happen to be a plumber, do you?
Everything you're saying is right, but I'm not a plumber.
I mean, I like the idea of the tankless myself.
He was going so strong.
This is hilarious.
Do we
Yeah, right.
do we get it?
Yeah, that's usually the smallest you get for a house, yeah. You can do it 20 or 30. Yeah, do it. Yeah, you can do less than 50.
I mean, to be honest, I see a lot of businesses have a small little one under the sink that's,
Those are on demand.
oh, I've seen tank ones. There are a lot of home shops and they have a little
I mean, how often do we get
10 gallon.
when she's using it, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would draw hot water.
Well, you
Well, the
wash your hands
bathroom,
and
when you
back.
wash your hands.
But that's where that little 10-gallon tank. No, this is here.
Here, yeah.
So would you need more than one there if you needed a
No.
hot water heater? One tankless heater would
Yeah,
do the.
yeah, it goes down, yeah, it goes where the old one is.
Oh, it's way under there. You're
Yeah.
thinking it just sits right underneath the sink.
The only other option I think I wouldn't mind seeing is a point of use on demand, which would be a small electric on-demand water heater at the point. So you put one in the men's, one in the women's, one in the kitchen, that just connect the cold water line. I don't know what that would do to the prices, but
Yeah, what if they're 1,200?
you know, if they're small, little point of use, there's not a lot of flow they can handle, so you can't, it's not like one handles the whole building, but if they're small, and I guess I'd like to see that as an option.
Roger, do you remember if that's a 50-gallon water heater?
I think it is.
So do you want me to check on the warranties, Josh,
Well,
before we make a decision?
I'd like to go with the most efficient.
Well, and one thing that
Give
I
us a
think
bit.
struggles with in that too is you've still got a long run from that water heater up, so.
You're gonna have cold water for however long it takes to fill the pipe, right?
For anyone
But
to
you
get
may
it.
never have hot water to wash your hands anyways, once you're on it. 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
So maybe it's best to go with the cheapest one. Because when you want hot water.
Well, if you're not considering the tankless, then I would consider power vent just to save money, because they're gonna be much more efficient. So I guess in that respect, I would go with the middle of the road, if that's kind of what we're looking for.
Tankless for 2,500.
With the power.
Yeah,
No, no,
it's not
tankless.
tankless,
Not
yeah,
tankless.
it's just got power vent.
Yeah, power vent, 50 gallon for 25, and then the, what's the $600?
Are we,
And I think the reason those two are so expensive is they gotta bore through that black wall to rent them. Either one.
What's the 2830 amp hour?
that's for the acid neutralizer, just like we have in the office.
Okay, so the big blue is 600.
Yeah, that's the filter. Now I would recommend having an inline filter.
if there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to, accept the proposal for 50-gallon power vent water heater with a big blue sediment filter system from Williams Plumbing.
Okay.
Um,
Can I put a little wrench in there and say, do we really need a 50-gallon? Could we get away with a smaller one?
Well, you just said,
They do come in a 40.
they do?
Well, because Billy Joel said she ordered 40 for her
you
son.
can get them as small as a 10-gallon.
Yeah, I'm sure Keston just got a 40 and just built a house.
What's the difference in price?
Well, the only thing you might be looking at, the power vent option may only be available on the bigger ones or something, but
I'm okay with staying with the 50. I'm just wondering if we truly,
I don't know that we really don't need much, because all you're trying to do is,
Using 50 gallons.
Right.
you know, you're trying to wash your hands in the bathroom, and then if she really needs hot water.
She's running quite a bit, at times, isn't she?
she doesn't have a dishwasher.
There's no dishwasher in there at all?
I don't think so.
So as far as hot water goes for her, I mean, it's filling up the sink, which,
And the rest.
Should I check on it?
You can check on it, should it be part of the motion that, we go with the smaller gallon if available,
Yeah.
not to exceed 2,500?
I think that's a good.
What would you look at this? What if they have a 40, a 30, and a 20?
I don't know that we need more than 20, quite frankly, you know, that.
Our stick was our kind of deep.
I would stick with
Dude,
the 40.
Does
You don't wanna cut it short.
So now we're talking about 10 gallon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll check the price difference. And how about we make some kind of motion that if there's more than a $500 difference to go with the 40, but if there's not, then stick with 50? Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what my motion
These are all gonna get a wrapped up packet index.
So, if the 40-gallon is a power vent under $2,000, we will get the 40. If it's over $2,000, we will get the 50 in power vent. And, the filtration system.
I mean, just looking at Home Depot here, there is a $100 difference between a 50 and a 40 gallon.
Okay, so that kind of sits us into
If you
the,
need a 40 gallon for a house, that's because they take a shower and they do laundry.
Right.
This
So how much is a 20 gallon?
Now, that water heater doesn't service the shop too, does it?
ooh,
No, I bet you there's another one out there,
Yeah, I
because
can't.
there's one over there.
oh yeah.
Well, the water here services the shop. That's why I just want to make sure that,
Oh, it does?
yes.
Oh, they have a shower over there.
I'm pretty sure there's a water heater.
They're not pulling from here over
They're
there.
not pulling hot water.
I wouldn't think so, but just, I mean, just that would be the only caveat if.
Okay, so we have a motion by John for under 2,000 for a 40 gallon, over 2,000 for a 50 gallon, and the inline filter.
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Outside.
Okay, so I have a motion by Josh and a second by Brian. All in favor? All against? Okay. Chief, do you want to be noted why, or you think it's too much? But we gotta look at the future too.
No, and I know something needs to get done. It's not too much. It's more just the options. I mean, it's a 5-man board. I don't necessarily agree with going with this, but you guys do, so it's not that
Motion passed.
I'm deadly against it, but I'm.
You can rescind the motion, we can bring it back after do some research. I mean,
Sure.
it doesn't have to go.
There you
this
go.
way.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with it. It's not like I'm deadly against it. I just, I've not really
Okay.
asked
Jeff,
for it, I
they
guess.
got their own,
Oh, they got their own.
they got their own hot water heater.
Okay.
Okay, so.
The thing we don't wanna do is kick it down the road too long, and
Well,
then things
right.
gonna take a dump, and then,
Can I,
Then
you
we're,
know,
then
then
we're
we're.
screwed, right?
can I use the word most advantageous for the town? And can I say not to exceed, it's 25?
31.
$3,100? If we find a smaller one, and we can do
Okay.
it,
I can
let's
talk.
replace the town hall water heater with a filter for less than $3,100.
Okay, and I can talk to Shad and see if we can work out something smaller, telling him based on the needs that we got. Sounds good? You okay amending that?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor? I guess
Aye.
we can vote. Amended motion passes. All right, direct deposits, can I just say here, do you guys wanna delay the audit? Being that it's getting.
It is already almost 8:30. I think we've had a long
It will
day.
be ready for whenever you guys want, and anybody can look at it anytime they want, so it is a longer meeting, I totally understand. Very,
Whatever you guys wanna do, I don't care.
I guess, what do we have that we're pushing off the next meeting?
That's just good, I mean, how much longer is 17 through 22 gonna be?
Well, not
Those will be
much.
short.
Direct
If they're gonna be
deposit.
short, let's just,
Okay,
I'm sitting here.
okay, me too.
Okay.
All right,
That's my opinion, I'm not, I don't wanna speak for everybody.
policy on direct deposits, go ahead.
Yeah, so right now, most people have direct deposit, not everybody. And it's kind of a pain because then you've got a couple checks that sit out there or people don't cash a check. So we want it to be where it's just a policy that your check is direct deposited, that's it. So people don't have a choice.
Are we talking employees?
Anybody
But I
that
mean,
gets a check from us.
doesn't
So
matter. I mean,
EMS, poll workers.
Okay.
but you're talking a payroll check of some kind.
Right, some kind
Yes.
of a payroll check.
We
yeah,
have
yeah.
one election worker has 2 outstanding checks from last year that I've called and requested to cash.
Doesn't it make it easier for you two?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be so much easier if it's all
Well,
just.
there's
direct
employers out there that make it mandatory anyways.
Right, a lot of businesses do.
And I've got one, when I took over, Billy Joe said, give them the option to do direct deposit. One of them did, the other one didn't. They don't want to
It
do
was
it,
only,
is there,
you know, but
is there anybody that has absolutely stated they absolutely do not want direct deposit?
I honestly don't have their particular reason why they don't want it. You know, but
Can we mandate it and make it
Yes.
effective, like?
Social Security does not give you an option of a paper check.
The county, I believe you have to have.
Okay, let's do it then.
Mid-state truck services.
If it makes it easier for the town to function, let's do it. We can make it effective when?
yeah, and we can write something up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan.
No, that's fine. Just a question. You still send out the check
The
stuff?
stuff,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Can you send that by email?
Yep.
Save yourself the stamp.
I agree.
And I don't know that we can make that motion because it's not, that's important.
Can we do that because aren't our social security numbers and stuff on it?
No, they are
There's like the
not.
last four.
Okay.
There's the last 4 of that and the last 4 of our bank on there.
Yeah, Heidi used to send out all of our check stubs by email before.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for either or both.
I'll make a motion that we make direct deposit mandatory, effective date November 1st. We'll give it a couple months.
Notify everybody, okay.
And that we have the, do we want to make it optional or mandatory or?
Do we see, and you can just say that the check stubs will be emailed to each individual? Does everybody have email?
Let's just leave it at the,
Yeah, let's just.
I'm just gonna leave it with the
Direct
direct deposit, no? we can readdress that.
Okay, I have a motion by Chase for mandatory direct deposit effective November 1st, 2023 for all persons receiving checks from the town of Saratoga.
Yes.
Payroll check.
Payroll check.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Josh, all in favor?
Before we vote, how many employees get paper checks? One?
Including election workers? No.
Yeah, or EMS, there's a few EMS that do, but they only get paid twice a year. Election workers, pretty much they all get a paper check.
Board members, plan commission?
Out of that, well, now we'll have two there were three, but now there'll be two.
Two
You know,
plan
that
commission
get-
members?
No, not plan, checks that have to be an actual check, not direct deposit. Does that make sense?
So there's two total?
Two total, there were three,
Okay.
but now it's two,
Okay,
so
okay. Okay, so,
it's not a lot.
When is the next check for EMS? You said that's once a year?
December sometime.
Okay, so that would go into effect before that. Okay.
so we'll just send out a little ditty to all the people. All right, operators licenses?
Motion and second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. All right, operators licenses?
Except one.
Everything came back okay.
Like motion to approve the operator license for. Hey, what's other sheet, wasn't it? Yeah. Who am I on?
Christopher Yost.
Yeah.
Okay, for that.
Second.
I have a motion by Chase and a second by Josh to approve operator licenses. All those in favor? Aye. All those against? Okay, so motion passes. Okay. Public input? You two guys got anything you want to say?
There is an ordinance out here that, jake breaks are illegal. I'm talking to you, Mr. Peterson. I was told years ago, the only reason the sheriff's department wouldn't enforce the rule, the ordinance, was because one of the signs was not up. It's been somehow never put up for many, many years. The sign is up now, it's been up for probably, well, since before I was on the town board, and actually, but we're lucky right now because I haven't heard it. But normally, in fact, I was gonna do a little research today to find out how many would use their break. But I got tied up with different things.
Where are you hearing it mostly?
Right here,
Right
right there,
Okay,
right there, the other side of the road.
okay,
I live in a two-story house, it's like a megaphone.
okay.
There hasn't been a town board meeting that I remember attending that I haven't heard.
Sometimes it brings you out of your chair. If the guy's coming through your window. But
So do we have to say something to,
It'll be passed on.
okay, thank you.
And one more. There's a big sign here in the corner. Does that have a permit?
What's outside?
Oh,
Across from the
White
store.
Sox.
yeah, my cars is still.
Other
still
stuff.
Good question. I think we need to look into that.
I think it's an informational sign. I don't think it's a permit is required.
Is it in the right way or doesn't that matter?
It's outside the right of way. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but it is outside the right of way and it's
It is not
considered,
our right of way, either, which.
it's considered an informational sign. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's not advertising a business, it's not showing direction, it's not, it's just providing information, so. That's how the ordinance would be interpreted. All right, Anything else? Baytown Mills.
Make a motion to pay bills.
Second.
That'll last longer.
National Group, they still for the constable?
Yeah, yeah, so I asked Brandon because I didn't recognize the name. That was one that he had worked with pre-check on, and he said it was.
We pay the assessor monthly?
Yes.
Always the same.
Is there a vote on that?
No, not yet.
Anybody second this?
Chase,
Hey.
Oh, we had a motion.
Josh made a motion,
Oh, I'm
Chase
sorry.
seconded it.
I have a motion by Josh, a second by Chase to approve the, bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passed. Thank you, sorry.
No, you can say.
Okay. Items for future meeting. Anybody, I think we kind of went through everything here.
I understand.
And we got a lot of Kevin.
She's got a list,
Next meeting.
okay. Next date? September 2nd, is that right? And are you doing audit tonight, or are you gonna, we're gonna do audit, you are gonna do it, no?
Apologize, I need to use the restroom before we can do that.
So, we're here.
Well, in all honesty, if I can throw something in there, I would like to see the audit happen over there instead of here.
Because of hearing?
No, because if you have questions and I need my computer, I don't have a laptop. My computer's over
Is
there.
there something preventing us from taking this meeting over there at this point? We have nobody left in the room.
Well, we gotta have a date. Give me a
They're
date.
separate,
August,
Yeah.
September
they're
6th.
separate addresses.
Yes, so I don't think so. I think it would have to be a meeting posted for over there. I'm just, you know, you do what you want.
We were over there.
It's all ready
So where was this meeting posted?
for here.
This one was for here, the 5 o'clock was for there.
Can't we put a note on the door like we do over there and just say we were over there? Do you wanna go over there? That's what we did before.
I mean, by all means,
The only
go
issue
ahead
we
and
got,
do
we've
it.
got the
It's ready.
camera system here that we're in front of at the moment. So, I mean, we'd have to make a motion to do that, or we might have to move that off camera at that point, because we're not gonna take that over.
Yeah, I mean, it's ready for whenever you wanna do
It's
it.
gotta be done with public meeting.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you're in a closed meeting if you have a quorum.
So we either do it,
Either
we either do it now or we table it till next meeting.
You can table it. It's ready.
Will you
I'm
have
gonna
to
right now.
come back on the next one?
Are you gonna do the zoning here now? Is that gonna be zoning on the next meeting?
Yeah.
That'll be here?
Well, so that's not gonna be any better.
Yeah, I would rather keep that meeting, really. Yeah,
I mean, if you had two people willing to, I don't know if you need a whole board to do that, do you?
to do the audit?
Yeah. Oh, actually, you would
I
have
It's
to.
a
think
public meeting,
so.
so you would have to.
Well, you have to have, yeah, and you have to have.
And why do we have to go over there to do it?
I said I would
If-
like it because if you guys have questions, my computer is over there. So
And yours is not a laptop.
mine is not a
If
laptop.
we have questions, we'll have to address that.
Write it down, but I know some of you have morning work. You know, you've already been on since 5:30 this morning.
How long did you take? How long did it?
You got a quorum?
Good
It
half.
has to be excused. Can we figure out?
Good half an hour, if not.
Productive meeting, thank
Okay.
you very much.
You're excused, thank you.
What kind of information?
Wow, really? We just lost just like that? He's not doing the audit?
No.
Yeah, we can still do it.
We can still do that, we can technically have one more person, we can still do it.
Wow, okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, so,
I need to.
Yes.
oh, restroom.
Well, you guys should start if you want, but
Yep, we'll
I,
start. We don't need these things.
I'm nervous.
You can read or?
I'll read.
Okay, here, I'll give you.
I've
this.
never read before, so I want to read.
I'll have you read this.
Ryan, do you need to read?
You
Oh.
can do that.
I'm gonna wait for this.
Were you, did you have enough batteries?
I only needed to change one.
Okay, because I did order more.
I
just-
put them in the box.
Just because.
So-
That's not.
Oh,
If I remember right, I only read the dollar amount.
And the name.
Well, tell them what you were thinking.
I only read the dollar amount, and then if it doesn't go in order, then we stop.
Okay, if you wanna get detailed and read the name and that, it's never been done before, but just so you know it's
I
there.
say we go down the list, read the dollar amount,
Okay,
and if it doesn't correlate, we stop and just find a way.
okay,
Where's the list?
cause I've always questioned it, why they never read the name to make sure it matches the treasurer.
you got the list, Brian? It's like this,
No, I do not.
under your left hand, isn't it?
No, that's not.
She might just gave one copy.
Oh, we
is my
just
guess.
got one copy?
No, you get that copy and then he gets the other copy, one's the
What
treasurer's.
about Brian?
Brian's gonna do the easy job.
He's got a good job?
That's the job I've always done. So you're welcome.
So, you didn't
All
say
right.
more, right?
Megan, so I'm gonna come by you.
What did you say
Okay,
for?
I'm
I
fast.
don't think you did this. I don't remember this box.
So,
Okay,
this
Okay.
is.
we're gonna start with check
Wait,
number.
wait, that ain't gonna work,
Why?
cause you need another person to check.
I heard the tone. It's gonna be fine.
You're still being recorded.
I know.
He's still heard the toilet flush.
You have to have someone match in that one, or you can look at both of them.
No. We're gonna start with. Oh, this isn't even.
Oh,
How's it
oh,
gonna
shoot.
How's he gonna start?
No, go ahead and start with the number. I'll have to go print off, I never had to print off my thing here.
Your thing?
No. Yes. Well then,
You gotta go away.
no, I got it right here. Because what came from the bank, that's what you have right there in your hand.
No, I'm reading.
Okay, and I'm checking?
Yep.
Does anybody have an extra pen or pencil that I can?
Yes.
He's so needy.
I should have brought one of my own.
I actually try to bring two pens because I've had. a pen
Lorelei
die on
always
me.
forget.
Well, I've had a pen die,
You know what, I don't think.
and I try to bring a highlighter, so I'm fine.
Actually, I'm just turning this off.
You know what, I did not print it off again.
No, we don't. Well, we have to wait for
Okay,
the right.
so, start your packet here, because I'm gonna go print off, the direct deposits in each. Flip your sheet to where your numbers start, right there.
17906.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna start there.
Okay, I'm gonna,
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the dollar amount,
Okay.
and if the dollar amount doesn't
okay, right there.
correlate with the next one in line, then we'll stop and figure out why.
All
Okay,
right.
So 17906 is 36.94.
got it,
Oh,
Did you want them to read
36.94.
it or not?
got it,
it's up to him,
116.41.
got it,
but, do you know how to?
922.53.
got it,
263.95.
got it.
2,620, 62.50.
These
Got
is just-
2,662.50. $78. $229.46. 361.62.
I'll be right back.
1808 even. 1,040. 616.10. 130. 1603. 315. 2,223.57. 411.71. 21,287.05. $6. 1725. 3,000. 1452.47. 1120.26. $18. 158.55. 2,028.58. 58.36. 1,672.75. 157.53. 187.07. 30,253.05. 122.56. 200. 232. 644.12. 4880, 35, 18874, 179842, 12803, 341692, 26,733, 15855, 825,646 and 22 cents. 643,656 and 16 cents. 72,235.26. 126,430 and 1 cent. 56.25. 170. 590. 690,976.35. 8,333.85. 42,147.70. 28,106.45. $297.58. 460. 1,678.26. $2,409.41. 17,781.98. 10,960.39. 36.94. 2,033.67. 55.50. 4,198.30. 1,137.50. 465.24. 72.85. 6,496.51. 275. 58.51. 1,485. 704.02.
Bingo.
659.69. 1,414.37.
Wait.
That's not listed on here. There's a blank spot here. Christopher Hay. 17,979.
17,979 is Christopher Hay.
And we have nothing listed.
We have
on
a
here.
zero. 17979 is zero.
17979 is 0.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing listed there. There's not even zero. It's absent.
Okay, and when that happens, she usually has a reason for that.
Let me call her. I want to say that that was one that we had to void because it might have, if I remember right, I think it was like a tax overpayment and then we did a refund, but he bounced.
Can you
Okay.
set it up?
I will, I'll put that one.
You want
I'll
my
set it like that.
highlighter?
Okay. I'm
All right.
good.
That,
Yeah, you wanna highlight your spot or you want,
Mine's going to call her.
is she here yet?
Yep.
She's, printing at the office.
Okay.
all right. So, moving on.
So
205.
17,980 is $205. $13.
The tax overpayment that we had to.
$12. 228.91. 267.61. 713.22. 383. 395. 1668.75. 1830.75. 1800. 542.34. 245. 1750. 6045. 5795. 4580. 30. 7027. 157.53. 286.82. 26,726.91.
No.
Nope, 29,726.91.
Yeah, so you had 1,800 or 18,000, check number 18,000.
18,001.
Yeah, 18,001.
So you had 286.82 at 18,000,
Yes,
and then 18,001.
we had 29,726.91.
What did I say?
26,000.
Oh, 29,000, yes, sorry.
Okay, all right.
29,726.91.
Okay.
$15. 127.22. 681.68. 2,044.66. 200. $854,885. 74,396.54. 711,650.39. 662,914.38. 130,212.80. 200. 173.51. 307.62. 182.34. 1301.6. 40.89. 56.65. 36.94. 361.84. 1205.04. 337.59. 21,282.31. 1,179.52. 62.93. 245. 84.33. 55.50. 72.85. 7,843.67. 66.71. 22.06.07. 1,800. 77.37. 2,046. 210. 225. 210. 371.75. 309.13. 225. 210. 310. 2,629.18. 425. 1,800. 67.99. 10,976.60. 120. 105. 1348.75. 4901. 3,150. 1361. 3640.59. 180. 45. 157.53. 200. 28,937.70. 948.45. 60. 40. 413. 315.
This, subtract this.
104.18.
This.
1,032.37. 279.15.
This is
95.77. 2007.51.
the donation account.
2580.01. 72.85. 60. 2004.18. 150.94. And we have a voided check number 18,076.
Okay, that's Botham Inc. We have nothing under there, so.
Yep, that's a voided check.
Voided, okay.
That's what I think we'll find on this one too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna highlight this and put void after it, just.
This one we do have to
Do we want to ask about this one while we're stopped?
Billy Joe, we got, two checks actually for Botham Inc., 18076, 01807.
I got a Christopher Hay was the,
Okay,
So the one we're on right now is I have a void here.
Yep.
Botham Inc., that's.
And that's the blank one there?
Yep.
Yep.
But we have one
Christopher Hay.
Okay.
Here, which one?
Oh, it's not in there as a void?
It's not in here as a void.
No.
Okay, what's 7979? And first said void also? Okay, I'll just run it back and go grab, it must be in the drawer. 17979, why would it have been copied?
7979.
Okay, I will run and go grab.
Thank you. All right, check number 18,077.
What? Oh, you're talking about,
For
I'm sorry,
$1,800.
what?
88037. 150. $109.49, $2,592.55, $1,256.15,
But it's actually
$235.50, $1348.75, $214.58, $245, $193.12, $55.50, $24.55, $217.50, $217.50, $217.50, $217.50, $217.50, $280.50, $280.50, $217.50, $17.50, $10,000, $3,937.50, $1,375, $80.10, $2,086.60, $712, $809.37, $60, $156.57, $200, $145.07, $28,148.49, $1696.95, $133.42, $133.15, $749.80, $385, $8,333.85, $42,147.70, $28,016.45, $365, $89.99, $3,550, $122.55, $73.88. We have a void of 18, check number 18,124 is a void. It was written to John Jr. and Senior. Savage. Yep. Check number 18,125, 209.64. 1,202.65, 1874, 2,478.07, 652.60, 2,314.34, $9.36, 245, 55.50, 72.65, 3,362.60, 325, 37.65, 100, 240.11, 106.95, 133.42, 1,650, 514.37, 169.54, 63, 97.38, 16.25, 10,000.
Need to write less checks.
689.58, 26.50, 2,150, 274.53, 40, 156.57, 806, 630, 87.73, 1,800, 93.90, $32, 724.73, 147.42, 27,885.42, 268.23, 200, 843.75, 37.65, 300, 4,684.79, 113.91, 192.03, 41, 265, 45, 58.12, void check number 18,176 for modern equipment. You don't have that as a void? $50, 8,196.21, 73.88, $2,476.25, 6140, 118.74, 1,147.46, 72.65, 51.17, 600, 280, $300.14, 254.88, 339.90, 326.42, 485, 73.19, 64.73, 3,611.35, 71.94, 995.03, 77.37, $40, 2,320, 268.23, 34.41, $50, $50, $67, 5,783.24, 50.18, 1,350, 1,800, 552.88, 52.64, 71.86, 156.57, 1803.83, 60, 27,359.28, 487.50, 2906, 1488.92, 229.95, 461.75, 549.48, $20, $100, $50, $50, $50, 50, 50, 550, 50, 50. Check number 18233, 50. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. Check number 18248. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 150, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. $367.50. 26,733. 142.80. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 150. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50.
Not even me.
50. 30. 100. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. Check number 18299 is 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 100.
No, I'm missing a 50.
18 through 12.
18,312 is 50.
Okay, well, I'm missing something in there then, because I'm one behind.
So was I.
The last one we know for sure was 100 we were on, which would have been 18,293.
18,293.
So I guess when we check
I might have
the
skipped-
check
I
number,
might have skipped one. So 18,293 was 100. 294.50.
Yep.
295.50.
Yep.
296.50.
Yes.
297.50.
Yes.
298.50.
Yes.
299.50.
Yes.
350.
Yes.
301.50.
Yes.
302.50.
Yes.
304.50.
we're
where's
missing a
303?
303, Raymond Lucas.
Yeah, that's where it is. Billy Joe,
What?
we're missing 1303.
1303 don't sound like a check number.
18,303.
Oh, I'm sorry.
18,303. This one for Lucas Raymond for 50.
Why didn't you catch, so. Well, these came from the bank, so I'll have to go dig up the little small version of these. So you can hopefully hopefully it's in that one.
Okay.
For your one of, what was it, 1390?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened with this one is, we didn't get it back. Is his mortgage company paid the amount, okay? Then he
Which number are we?
Now, what check number?
checked 1390, the 1414 for the Christopher Hay.
Oh, okay.
His mortgage company paid his mortgage, okay, or no, I'm sorry, his taxes. And he quick ran to the Nakusa Bank on the 31st of January or 30th, wrote a check out, and then it bounced. So what happened is I receipted in his money, or the bank did, I should say. And then when I put it in the system, we had to kick out an overpayment because the mortgage company already paid for it. Well, then it bounced, so I had to turn around and cancel that check that we issued. Okay? So we never got that back, that's why you're not seeing nothing.
We never got it
Okay, so
back.
Correct. It was,
they
the bank
destroyed
did
it.
it. The bank canceled it.
Okay, so the money never left.
Correct, yes. And as a matter of fact, I invoiced him for the bank charge for $5 and not sufficient. So he has an invoice with the town for $40 based on that check,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And I will go and pull the little checks from,
Okay, 18303.
that's the reason I think doing this in the office would have been much better. What? I don't think
So I
so.
got that one pushed off to the side.
Yep.
We took
I
care of
just
the
have to go
first
grab
one.
the
Yep.
checks
Okay.
things.
Missing 303, and we are now on the $100 check on 18,313.
Oh, you wanted
No, you can keep going.
304.50?
Okay.
305.50? 306.50?
Okay.
307.50, 308.50, 309.50, 310.50, 311.50, 312.50, 313, 100. 314, am I right?
Yes.
314.50, 315.50, 316.50, 317.50, 318.50, 319.50, 320.50, 321 is a voided check
Right?
for Gene.
Yep.
Yep.
322, 72.65.
Yep.
2,830. $803. 34.41. 326 is 50. $950. $1,160. 36.94. 196.71.
Okay,
That's it.
That's where I'm at.
now we got to go back to do the first one.
First one.
I don't know what the first
The
one is.
ACH one she gave you, that she put up there?
Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
So that's all this thing here, right?
Yep. First one.
Oh.
Still okay talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got all, you went right to your last page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Well-
have to start at the front page and go down
Right.
to the, where 17,906 started, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna read the numbers.
Okay.
Stop me if they're not right.
Okay,
487.86, 1,049.64, 22.18, 3,237.65, 400, 275, 888.30, $5, $5, 2,906.78, 275, 1169.14, 805.05, 22.84, 675, 38.76.88, 36.30, $5, $25, 57.27, $275, 932.16, 718.95, 2,906.78, 17,747, 11.42, 675,
nope,
38.62.
I'm missing one. ACH 249 for $23.
Oh.
I don't have that on my list.
Yep, there's, sound familiar, Paulette? ACH.
249 Town of Saratoga, $23.
Yeah, that is, petty cash replacement. You're not gonna have it because this is Paulette's, she has to issue a check. I pull it out of the money market. Okay?
Okay.
Hers has to be documented by an actual ACH. Mine, I can go to the counter and I pull it back out. That's why you're not seeing it,
Okay.
okay? But it is there.
Okay.
That's just her, the way her program works.
What's the total on that?
20.
Come on.
23 even?
Yep.
Okay.
What was
So we're
that
at-
check?
250.
Yep, it'd be 675 would be the next one was 38.
8303.
Okay, got it.
18303 was the one that,
What, do you know what the date roughly was?
like 627. It was a $50.
627, yeah. To Ray Lucas.
All right, ACH 250, $675.
Got it.
386204.
Yep.
275, 935.32, 2906.78, $10, $11.42.
Nope, I have $5 and $5.
Oh, yes, 255 and 256.
Yes,
Yep, I have them both together at $10.
okay,
So do I, yes.
okay.
Oh,
Alright.
it just didn't clear.
258,
258 is $275.
got it.
1096.74,
Can you bring it up on your check?
$400.
What it was?
Yep.
2884.86, 1255.90.
So what happens when? a check
ACH
doesn't
263
clear?
is voided.
And I missed it. You know what I mean?
Correct?
I have that as well. What do you have?
263. I have $329,053.15.
Okay, that's another one, because of, that's your fire payoff.
Okay,
Actually, you can see it on here.
you want me to read it to you?
See the bank?
Yeah.
$329,053
Right here.
and 15 cents.
Fire
Oh, yeah.
protection loan payoff, it's, her system has to cut a check. Mine, the bank pulls directly out of it,
Right here.
Okay.
okay? That's on these.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it.
329.
Right here. There's your fire,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
And see, oh, actually, look right here.
And there's a 23 too.
Yeah, see that?
Yep. Okay.
And it even references 249.
Okay,
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
264.
$275, 879.44,
Okay.
2906.78,
Okay,
1142, $275, 933.44, $25, 3164.66, $400, 349.82, 619.23, 2960, 275, 275, 3472, 3978, 945.22, 1142, 275, 869.62, 400, 2896.25, 710.15, 9196, $29,06.78, $275, $931.58. $29,06.78, $2531.68, ACH 293 for Delta Vision, I have 0.
Right?
Great West, $275.